Okay, good afternoon everyone. Am I loud and clear? Malinaw po ba ang audio natin? And can you see my screen? So if everything's okay, can you put a thumbs up in our emoji board? Ayan, so let me see that. Okay. Alright, sige. Okay. Ayan, so thank you for that. Okay, so welcome to our class for this afternoon. Actually, I was just tasked by Dr. Hisino to conduct a brief review on leadership and management. But at the same time, it's a more of a broad subject kasi sinama yung buong concept ng PALMAR. So the professional adjustment, leadership and management, and somehow yung concept ng research. Lahat po ba dito ay fourth year students? Lahat ba fourth year students? Yeah, okay. So I can see the emoji board. So yes, fourth year student. Or meron po bang lower year or lower level? Third year? Okay, so merong third year, second year? Second year, wala. Okay, so third year and fourth year, I assume. First year, wala naman, no, so far. Okay, so third year and fourth year students. Okay, sige, so let me just ask for your permission. So, okay lang ako kahit emoji, ano, kasi I see 60 participants on board and we can communicate later on. So, is it okay to record our session for educational purposes? Okay lang ba? Okay, sige. Alright, so let me record that. Okay, thank you for that response.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so good afternoon once again. So let me introduce myself first. I am Charmaine Joyce Clarianes Reyes. You can call me Shane. And I am a part-time faculty member in Our Lady of Fatima University, Quezon City. And I'm still thinking of going on full-time kasi currently I am in the hospital setting. And most of my experience for more than 10 years, yeah, so 10 years na po ako nasa profession, hindi lang siya halata. Yeah. So I've been in the profession for more than 10 years. Yeah. So lahat ng taon na yon is nasa hospital po ako. So, gano'n na siya katagal. Gano'n na ako katagal namamalagi sa hospital. Kulang na lang tumira na ako sa hospital kasi most of my time is really spent in the hospital. But anyway, some of you, I think, meron na po ba ako ditong na-handle sa skills demonstration or sa return demonstration? Meron na ba? Okay lang to raise your hand. Kayo matakot kasi hindi ko naman matatandaan yung pangalan nyo. Ayan, unless ma-handle ko na talaga kayo totally in the subject. Okay, so wala. Although I can't remember yung mga names ng mga students na na-handle ko for skills demo. But at times kasi, I go to the school physically to conduct yung skills demonstration sa health assessment and fundamentals like yung mga procedures of IV infusion, medications, blood transfusion, colostomy care, mga ganun na procedures. Ano. But I would assume that most of you here, since you are already in your third year and fourth year, are already in your clinical rotation. Tama ba? Sa clinical rotation na kayo, no? So, ayan. So, ayan, galing din naman ako dyan. Daan ako dyan. So, I understand the pressure, I understand the toxicity, and I understand yung workload na meron kayo. Lalo na for fourth year, may board exam na. Ayan. So, paparating na, papunta na tayo dun sa exciting part, di ba? So, yung board exam is very, well, it's very difficult, no? So, I don't know kung meron bang tao or meron bang student nurse or graduate na nursing student who will claim that the board exam is an easy exam. No? So, parang kung sabihin man yun, hindi ko alam. Maybe 1 in a million or 1 in 1,000 or maybe 2, I don't know. But the thing is, it's very difficult. No? So, yung mga tipong, halimbawa, ikaw ay Dean's Lister or cum laude ka graduate, pag nandun ka na sa board exam at natapos mo yung board exam, Iisipin mo or ipagdarasal mo na, okay na ako kahit na anong grade, wag lang bagsak. Okay? Kahit na hindi katulad ng grade na nakuha mo overall na dun sa general weighted average mo, basta wag lang bagsak sa board exam. Okay? So nawawala yung mga ganong competition. Kasi at the end of the day, kapag nakapasa kayo ng board exam, andun na. That's the license. Okay? That's the registration. And magkakatalo na yan ulit pag nandun na kayo sa actual patient care setting. No? So, nandun pa lang kayo eh. So, you're going there, malayo pa, pero malayo na, sabi nga nila. No? Okay, so let us discuss yung ating concepts in professional adjustment, leadership, and nursing research. So for our objectives and contents, no, so as mentioned earlier, so this will be divided into 3 parts. So you have the professional nursing adjustment. So more on review tayo ng mga nursing law natin, mga ethical responsibilities and principles and virtues and guidelines. And also, we will review yung ating leadership and management concepts. And might as well, konting pahapyaw tayo sa research and evidence-based practice in the nursing profession. So, nung pumasok ako sa OLPU, tinanong ako ni Dr. Hesino, what is the subject or the concept that I will handle? I actually choose, personally, I actually like kasi yung bioethics. Ayan, yung nursing bioethics. So, yung mga professional nursing law, I'm very interested with that. That is why I really incline myself in teaching that as well. So, maganda rin naman yung experience, ano? And the thing is, hindi kasi nawawala sa board exam ang question na related sa leadership, sa management, at sa ethical principles. Laging nandun yan. All throughout the test questions, laging merong tanong na related sa leadership, management, and ethical principles. And somehow, nandoon din yung pagdating dun sa research. Kasi nowadays, nurses are very much inclined in research. No? Ang dami ng mga studies na lumalabas ngayon. And if you look in the internet, there are studies na mismong mga nurses na ang nagsisimula. Okay, that is why mas binibigyan ng foundation and emphasis yung research itself. But don't worry, later on, we will discuss kung ano ba yung mga mga basics natin pagdating sa research. So as third year and fourth year students, I expect most of you are somehow have the grasp of the concept and the idea regarding these topics. Ano? Kasi review na lang to, no? Mabilis ang lang tayo. Review lang tayo pagdating din sa mga concepts natin. So I will try to somehow make this learning experience alive. Kasi sabi nga nila, ang leadership, ang research, ang ethics is somehow parang ang boring. Ayan. Even nung ako ay nasa college, nung ako ay nasa nursing school, I found those subjects really, really, really boring. Na para akong hinihele dyan sa mga subject na yan. No? And honestly, I cannot remember yung mga tinuro nung nasa nursing school dun sa, nung time na tinuro sila. No? But it's just that I just had this specific interest dito sa mga subjects na to nung ako ay nagre-review na doon sa nursing revalida namin before the board exam. And eventually, mas nagustuhan ko siya kasi even if you are already in the hospital setting or kung saan mang setting ang gusto nyo kuhain as a future nurse, magagamit nyo siya. Okay? Nandoon siya, hindi siya nawawala. Okay? So, let us start with, ayan, so na-mention ko na rin naman kanina, no? So this will be the topics that we will discuss. So let me just start with a quote of the day. No? I really like to start my lecture with some quotes of the day to inspire everyone. No? So always remember, my dear nurses or my dear future nurses, learning never exhausts the mind. So that's from Leonardo da Vinci. So totoo naman, no? So, you have a lot to learn. Sabi ko nga, malayo pa yung tatahakin ninyo as future nurses. And now, you're almost at the edge of glory, no? So nandiyan na, magbo-board exams na kayo. And mind you, mahirap yung tatahakin nyo na landas papunta doon sa pagpasa sa board exam. But once your license is already there, masarap sa pakiramdam. Parang isipin nyo, Diyos ko, ito na yung lisensya ko, kailangan ingatan ko to. Kulang na lang, ipa-frame na eh. Di ba? So, merong ganong thinking. And it's normal. And it's very much expected. Kaya nga, pag nandiyan na yung license natin, tandaan ninyo na ang main responsibility nyo na as nurses, bukod sa pagpapasyente, is ingatan yung lisensya na yun. Okay? So, always be eager to learn new things. Okay? So, let me just ask some of you, okay lang naman sa chat box tayo. So, all you have to do is this. You just have to answer me a typical, tatlo lang ang option natin. Yes, no, at saka I am not sure. Okay? Again, yes, no, and not sure. Yun lang yung isasagot nyo. Yun lang ang itatype nyo sa ating chat box, no? So, ayan. So, i-open ko na yung chat box para maabangan ko na yung mga sagot nyo. So, here's my question. So, very cliche na tong question na to eh. And I think some of you are already asked by this question. The question is this. Hindi mo siya pang Miss Universe. Huwag kayong masyadong mag-isip. Yes, no, and not sure lang naman yung answer na itatype sa chat box natin. So, the question is this. Gusto nyo bang talaga in the first place na mag-nursing? Ayan, di ba simple? So, gusto nyo ba in the first place? Or nandun ba talaga yung eagerness nyo na mag-nursing? Yung talagang gusto nyo na nung kayo ay bata pa lang, pangarap ko ng mag-nursing? Yung tipo bang nung nakatapos kayo ng high school, I'm not sure kung K-12 na kayo, no? Or nakatapos na kayo nung education na yun is mag-nursing ako. Ayan, so I have a lot of answers here. Sige, browse natin ng bahagya, Sige. Okay, so there are answers, yes, no? Although madami, there are answers no. Ayan. And no, okay, not sure. Okay. And no, definitely not. Okay, yes, no, yes, pero second choice. May calling. Okay. Sige, now I'm gonna ask you, and this is the moment wherein I want you to open your mic. Okay, so tatawagin ko lang, hindi mo kailangan sabay-sabay. I am curious with Mr. Diwata, Oliver Jose, with your answer, na ang sabi mo is, no, definitely not. Parang may conviction na ayaw mo talaga. So, ano ang nangyari? So, the floor is open. Sige, Mr. Diwata.
Hello po.
Hi.
Pwede po ako, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear you.
Bali, ma'am, kasi tawag dito, yung nursing kasi, ma'am, parang pa sa amin sa family, parang pangarap pa ng kanununuan, tapos hindi lang natutuloy kasi medyo magastos. So parang napasa na sa akin napasa na sa akin since yung ate ko naman nakapagtapos naman na. Siya kasi din may gusto ng nursing. So parang pinasa na po sa akin yung pangarap niya. Ganun po yung first.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Mr. Diwata. No? So parang nangyari, ito ang corona ng nursing, ikaw naman. May ganong factor. Sige. So let me ask naman si Mr. Senyorin. Sabi mo yes, pero second choice. Am I correct dun sa pagkakaintindi ko?
Opo, ma'am.
What happened?
Yung first choice ko po kasi, ma'am, sa sa PNPA po, pero hindi po nakapasok lang.
PNPA?
Opo.
Oh, okay. So parang criminology ang gusto mo?
Hindi po, ma'am. Academy po siya.
Oh, the PNPA, the PNP Academy. Okay. Pero second choice mo, kumbaga parang sabi mo, ay, hindi ako nakapasa sa PNPA. Sige, mag-nursing na lang ako. Ganun ba yun?
Yes po, since naman yung family ko po ay health rin po, sa health yung mga course nila.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice to know. Okay, sige. I'll give you a piece of thank you, Mr. Senyorino. No? So I'll give you a piece of advice over there, Mr. Senyorito. After you take up nursing, I advise you to apply in the PNP. Kung gusto mo talagang mag-PNPA in the first place, ano. I know kasi galing ako doon. Ayun, no. So, ayun. So, I worked in the PNP as a nurse as well. And so at least you still have the option na pwede ka pa rin matupad yung pangarap mo na mapunta doon sa PNP. It's still it has a training doon sa PNP, no? Para ka rin magte-train na gusto mo mag PNPA, well, you will be trained as a police nurse, no? So yon. But as ayan, meron ka ng option. But for now, kailangan mag-focus ka muna and you have to pass the board exam. So that's your initial requirement. Ayan, di ba? So, sige, let me ask si ano naman, Miss Kanyare. Sabi mo kasi may calling.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Yes.
Hindi po ako.
Yes, we can hear you.
Kasi po, may calling rin po kasi po yung halos karamihan ng family members po namin is already a nurse na po. Pati po yung mga brother-in-law ko is nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And then po, nung first year college po kasi ako, nag-shift po ako from medtech to nursing.
Okay.
So, nung medtech po ako, hindi ko nakikita yung sarili ko as a medtech in the future kahit yung medtech po kasi gusto po nila dad for me kasi madami na po kaming nurse. So, kahit anong dasal ko po noon, bumabaksak po talaga ako. And then, I come to the point na sabi ko, hindi, mag-nursing na lang ako. And then, parang bigla po kahit gaano kahirap yung nursing, so survive ko po siya unlike po nung sa medtech ko before. And then po parang every time po na nasa hospital ako, iba po yung feeling sa akin. Harap na po yung mga patient. Parang nagbibigay po sa akin ng motivation po para yung ituloy rin po at until now po hanggang ngayon po na graduate na nasa duty po ako. Iba po talaga yung feeling kapag nagpapa-thank you po yung patient sa'yo kahit student nurse lang po. So, yun po yung calling po ni God na ito nursing ka. Kaya yun po.
Okay, sige. Thank you, Miss Canyares, for sharing that. So, nandun yung calling. It's a very nice term that you associated dun sa course ng nursing. So, I hope you keep it up, yung ganyang thinking pagdating din sa profession. Kasi that's when you develop your passion. When you think of your profession or yung pinili mo as your passion or as part of a calling. O sige, last na. Tawagin ko yung pinakaunang sumagot ng yes, si Miss Nunez, Sheila May. Ayan, Miss Nunez, Sheila May, are you there? Ayan, mukhang nawala si Miss Nunez. O sige, how about si Miss Sales, Alisa May? Yes, Miss Sales.
Sa course ko na po, nag-shift po ako from accounting.
Okay. What made you shift?
Hindi po kasi ako, every time may quiz po gano'n, parang iniiyakan ko po pagka-bagsak. Lagi po hindi po ako masaya every time may gagawin na task gano'n.
Okay. Well, at least parang katulad nung kanina na kay Miss Canyares, somehow sabi nga niya, it's a calling, Anyway, natanong ko yan kasi when you choose a track or when you choose your profession, you have to make sure na talagang yung pupuntahan nyo is alam nyo. I mean, you should know saan kayo pupunta, where you're going. But the thing is, yung mga sumagot dito ng no, kayo po ay third year, fourth year na, aatras pa ba kayo? So, may option pa kayo para umatras, ano? Pero the thing is, nandyan na kayo, no? So, kung kayo man ay pinilit ni nanay, ni tatay, ni lolo, ni lola, well, it's time for you to think. And I think yung mga sagot niyo na no is pag nandun na kayo sa mismong profession, pag naka-graduate na kayo and you already have the grasp of your license is talaga namang ano siya, mag-iiba yung mentality niya. Sabi nga ni Miss Anderson, naaya lang daw siya, pero natutunan niya na daw mahalin. Ayan. So, yung mga natututunan na mahalin. No? So, yeah, not your first choice, but you are maybe loving it now. Maybe loving, ano? So, meron pa rin pagdududa. But the thing is, eventually, you will understand kids. O, di ba? Kids talaga. So, let me share you another one, no? So, so kasi pag nag-discuss ako, parang para ako nakikipagkwentuhan, no? So, para at least natututo tayo sa isa't isa, no? So, and I hope that's okay with you. Kasi hindi naman puro lecture lang lagi dapat na, puro ako budbud ng lecture sa inyo. Eventually, I have to share my experience and some pieces of advice para at least may matutunan din kayo doon, no? Well, just to share, kaya ako tinatanong tong mga ganitong tanong, kasi eventually, I will ask you a series of questions na meron din kayong mapapaisip kayo, So, the thing is, kaya ako siya natanong kasi personally, I never like to be a nurse. Ayan, way back. Ayan, so, kayo nang umisip kung ano yung taon na yon. Pero, hindi pa yun ganun katagal, ha. Pag kayo na-handle ko, ang unang-unang itatanong ko sa inyo at pahuhulaan ko sa inyo, pag personal, halimbawa na-handle ko na kayo in person at nagkita tayo, ang unang-unang ko itatanong sa inyo, hulaan nyo kung ilang taon na ako. Ayan, at ang maling sagot, minus. Ayan, di ba? But anyway, the thing is, not so long ago, but I never really liked nursing. Ayan. Grabe si Ma'am, 10 years old pa lang RN na. Grabe ka naman. Ayun. Anyway, ayan, itutuloy ko yung point ko, no? So, bago tayo pumunta dun sa, yun sa discussion na part. Kasi, eventually, the discussion, you know it eh. You know the concept. What's important is the application. That is why I'm sharing everything to you. Ayan. So, mamaya na yung usapang edad. So, eto yun. So, I never really liked nursing. No? So, in the first place, never siyang pumasok sa isip ko. But, our family is inclined with the medical profession. So, lahat po ay nasa medicine, nasa medical profession. Ayan. So, nung high school ako, wala pa pong K-12 noon, So, hanggang 4th year high school lang talaga. So, nung high school ako, I am always thinking that I want to be a journalist. Yan, journalism ang gusto kong kunin. Kasi it's either, sabi ko noon, gusto kong maging writer. I want to write in the newspaper or the article. Or I want to be a reporter. Yes, gusto kong maging reporter. Ayan, gusto ko yung nakikita sa TV. yung mga tipong report mga 24 oras. Yun, yung mga ganon. Yun yung gusto ko. And yung parents ko, specifically yung mom ko, ang sabi niya sa akin, mag-nursing ako. Kasi nung time ko, ang nursing talaga namang nasa tugatog ng tagumpay. Pag sinabi nasa tugatog ng tagumpay, ito yung mga panahon na talagang boom na boom ang nursing, na kapag ikaw ay nag-abroad, wala pang isang taon, meron ka na more than kalahating milyon. Kasi taas ang kita Diba? Nandoon yun. And ang inaano nun is, ang dami daw opportunity if you are in the medical field. Well, true enough. Nandun naman talaga yung fact na yun. But the thing is, sabi ko, ayoko talaga siya. Yun. Kasi for me, iniisip ko nun, number one, nakikita ko yung uniform ng nursing, puti. Ayan, sabi ko, ayoko ng white kasi parang konting madumi. Yun yung naiisip ko. Ayan, so isa yun. Pangalawa, sabi ko, parang wala siyang buhay. Yeah, parang all throughout you're in the hospital, wala social life. Diba? So, bawal daw may kulay ang buhok. Ayan, totoo yun. Pero ako, never naman ako nagpakulay ng buhok. Ang inaano ko nun, bawal yung mga kikay na earrings. Ayan. So, kasi di ba dapat ganitong earrings lang, yung mga maliliit, mga stud na earrings. So, yun, mga bawal yun, di ba? Tapos, naka-stockings. O, di ba? Mga ganon, ayoko yun. And then, sabi ng parents ko, sabi ng mom ko, o sige, ganito, mag-take ka ng, kasi before that, meron kasi noon UPCAT UP College Admission Test. So, I took the exam in UP. And ang nilagay ko is journalism, ang number 1. Dalawang choice kasi yun The second choice is theater arts. So, bakit theater arts? Hindi ko alam. Yun lang nakita ko. So, sabi ko, parang okay, kasi yan na lang. Di ba? Basta hindi medical. Yun yung lagay ko. So, I have the first option of journalism. And the second one is, theater arts. Luckily, nakapasa ako. So, I was very happy. Ayan, siya ako nun, and I'm so proud of myself. But the thing is, yung parents ko, ayaw nila. Yun. Even you pass in a prestigious university or at school, ayaw nila. So, my mom said, sabi niya, sige, you pass the exams there, you pass the entrance admission test, ganyan. But I have a condition, ang sabi niya nun. Mag-take ka ng application and ng entrance exam sa FEU. So, FEU NRMF ha, sa Fairview. So, yun kasi ang pinakamalapit. Kasi, by the way, I'm from Bulacan. Yan. Pero malapit na Bulacan lang, San Jose del Monte. So, yung mga taga Bulacan dyan, I know meron yan. Meron mga taga San Jose del Monte dito sa class na to. So, ayan, kaway-kaway. So, anyway, my mom told me to take up an admission test or an admission exam in FEU NRMF. That's it. Ang sabi ng mom ko, sige, kapag ikaw nakapasa ka dyan, then, pasok ka. Okay? Diyan ka sa FEU NRMF. You will take nursing. Pag hindi ka nakapasa, sige, you go wherever you want to go. Okay? You go to UP and do journalism or whatsoever. Di tuwang-tuwa ako kasi sabi ko, ang task ko pala nun, kailangan ko lang bumagsak. Di ba? So, kailangan ko lang bumagsak sa FEU. So, yun lang iniisip ko. Okay, sige. So, nung time ng admission test sa FEU, ang saya-saya ko kasi sabi ko, babagsak naman ako Yun yung iniisip ko. Simple lang yung gagi ko, hula ako lang naman yan babagsak ako. Yun lang yun nasa isip ko So, that's what I did. Believe it or not, hinulaan ko siya. Yun. Yung items, hindi ko na matandaan ko ilang items yun. Basta ang alam ko, tignan nyo items na, hindi ko matandaan So, obviously, hinulaan ko talaga siya. Di ba? Hindi ko binasa. So, talagang hinulaan ko siya. And yung oras ng exam, kasi half day yung yung exam doon Tapos yung remaining half of the day, i-interviewin ka pa. May ganon. So, yung first half, which is the written exams, nilaan ko talaga siya all throughout. In talagang hula-hula talaga. Yung mga tipong, yung mga kasama kong nag-exam, mangyak-yak na sila. Mantala ako, dapat tapos na ako. Ganon. So, sabay-sabay magpapasa So, eventually, pinasa ko na. So, I'm very confident. Sabi ko, hindi ako dito mag-aaral. Diba? And then, in the afternoon, in-interview ako. And the interview went like, parang wala pang 10 minutes tapos na. Kasi feeling ko, sabi ko noon, bibisiting ko yung nag-interview sa akin. Para lang yung sagot Tinanong din ako ng ganitong question, do you like to be a nurse? And my answer is no, ayoko po. Sabi ko, then ang sabi na sa akin, sige, why are you here if you don't like nursing? Sabi ko, and then I mentioned the truth that it's my parents. Gusto po ng parents ko pero hindi po ako. Now, if you don't want me to be here, it's okay. Yun ang sabi ko noon. And then, that's it. That's the interview. So, I'm very confident na sabi ko, babagsak ako dito. And I will go dun sa course na gusto ko. Then, ilang araw, ilang weeks, lumabas yung result. The passing rate is, of course, it's 75, And, mind you, my grade, flat 75. Diba? 75.0. So, sabi ko, bakit ganun? Bakit ako pumasa? So, hinulaan ko na't lahat, tapos bara-bara yung interview and all, pati the exam. Bakit ako pumasa? And I cried. Kasi sabi ko nun, papasok ako sa school na ayoko naman yung course. The school is there itself. Maganda yung school, maganda yung environment. But for me, yung pinaka-thought ko nun is, bakit ito yung course na kukunin ko? Ayan, di ba? Yan. Kaya yan, ma'am, common sleep. Yan. Sana ganun din dun sa boards na ko. Iba ang board exam. Huwag yung gagawin yun. Yung ginawa ko nun. Entrance exam lang yun, pagdating dun sa school. So, the thing is, sabi nung parents ko nun, so, wala akong choice eh. Sila yung magpapaaral sa akin. Hindi naman ako yung aalis ako, magre-rebelde ako kasi ayaw nyo pag, hindi, Diyos ko naman. No? Hindi ako ganun. So eventually, pumasok ako as a nursing student. Yes, may plano si Lord. Totoo yun. Sabi nga ni Miss Cañales. That's true. And first sem sa nursing school, hindi ko pa rin siya gusto. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi may algebra. So, yung algebra, hate na hate ko yan nung ako ay high school. So, sabi ko, bakit ganun? Akala ko ba nursing to? Bakit may math na naman? Ayan. So, eventually, naipasa ko naman ng algebra ko and I'm proud. 3 ako sa algebra. So, yun. Nasaya na ako doon kasi, hindi ko talaga forte ang math. Kaya nga ako nag-nursing eh. Sabi ko rin na lang din nun kasi walang math. Yung pala, meron pa rin. So, imagine, ang first subjects ng first sem, there is algebra, there is chemistry, merong physics. Sabi ko, bakit ganito ang ginawa ko sa buhay ko? So, yun yung nangyari sa akin nun. But anyway, come second semester. So, nakasurvive ako ng first semester kasi sabi ng parents ko nung kailangan ko daw mag-aral mabuti kasi wala daw mangyayari kapag daw nagloko-loko ako at binagsak ko ang mga subject. So, sige, I will do it. Come second semester, there's anatomy and physiology. Ayan. Sa anatomy and physiology, doon na ako nag-start makinig. Ayan. Makinig talaga. Hindi nakikinig sa professor. Doon ako nag-start makinig. Doon ako nagkaroon ng interest. Nang sabi ko, okay, ganun pala kalawak yung katawan natin. Hindi lang pala, kasi nung high school, there's basic science naman about the human body, di ba? Nandun na yun. Pero eventually, when I reached yung second semester of studying anatomy and physiology, sabi ko, ang galing, it's very interesting. So yun, nagkaroon na ako ng interest. Ayan, tapos nagkaroon na yan. Eventually, nagkaroon na ng fundamentals of nursing, yan, nag-i-skills laboratory na. Kailangan yung buhok nakatali na. Yung buhok ko laging mahaba eh. So, lagi yan nakapusod, naka-hairnet. So, sabi ko, meron palang a sense of discipline ang mga nurses. So, that is when, nagustuhan ko na rin, bukod sa wala akong choice, every time na makikita ko yung sarili ko with that aura na naka-fix yung hair and then eventually nag-white stockings, ayan, sabi ko, there is a sense of passion in nursing as well. Di ba? Parang linis-linis mong tignan. Yung puti na inaayawan ko before kasi sabi ko, parang ang dumi-dumi tignan, madidit ka lang sa kung saan. Eventually, I learned to love it. Kaya hanggang sa nag-duty na ako, 3rd year, 4th year, natutunan ko na siya. Na yes, it's there, minahal ko na rin yung nursing. And then, of course, I took the board exams, and then I passed, and then I worked in the hospital. So, eventually, nandun na yung path ko. So, why am I telling this to you? Kasi you have to know where you're going. Okay? That is why I ask you as well, ano ba? Gusto niyo ba talaga yung nursing? Kasi kung hindi niyo gusto, okay, hindi niyo gusto ngayon. But is there a chance? Or meron ba kayong gut feeling dyan na somehow minamahal niyo na rin siya? Diba? So sabi nga, natututunan din daw ang pagmamahal. Diba? Sabi nga nila, So, dapat kayo, as early as now, 3rd year and 4th year students, you should know kung ito ba yung path na gusto kong puntahan? Ito ba, nursing na ba talaga yun? Kasi eventually, you have to weigh things and you have to think. Kasi kung hindi nyo gusto ang pagiging nurse, ngayon pa lang, at kung alam nyo sa sarili nyo na kahit na anong mangyari, hindi nyo talaga siya mamahalin, walang mangyayari. You have to look for another. But the thing is, kaya nyo bang i-give up ngayon yan? 3rd year na kayo, 4th year na kayo, and you're almost 1 step, 2 steps away from taking the board exam. Sayang. Diba? So, we're going there, we're going to the path, and you have the plans, I know. No? So, and I think you are here, you join this class, and you are still here in the College of Nursing for a reason. And whatever that reason is, you have to think it over and you have to ponder on it na, bakit nga ba? Bakit ko siya pinili? O, di ba? So, anyway, ayan. So, let us go to the first part. Ayan. So, review muna tayo. So, pagdating sa professional nursing adjustment. So, kayo po ba dito, let me just see, sa emoji na lang tayo. Okay lang ako. Lahat po ba dito ay nakapag-discuss na ng Philippine Nursing Law and Bioethics? Okay. Alright. So, nakapag-discuss naman na. I can see emojis. Yes. Alright. Okay. So, this is just a review. So, let's do it. Ano? So, let's first define yung ating law or yung ating batas. So, it's very basic. Kasi pag sinabi nating law, ito susunod natin. Diba? So, these are the rules of conduct, the rules and regulations wherein na kailangan nating sundin. Otherwise, we will have an offense. Okay? Otherwise, makukulong tayo, magkakaroon tayo ng punishment. And most likely, itong mga batas na meron tayo ngayon, it reflects the society's needs, attitudes, and mores or morals. Okay? So, at the same time, pag sinabi nating law or batas, these are obligatory, meaning, kung tayo, nandito tayo sa Pilipinas, you have to abide with the law na pinapatupad dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? Ganon din sa nursing profession. If you decide to go, let's say you are already nurses, you decide to go in the hospital, each hospital, meron niyang kanya-kanyang policy at guidelines na kailangan nating sundin. Now, let's relate it now to where you are. Kayo ay nag-aaral as nursing students. No? So, as nursing students, you are expected to follow the rules and policies of your campus or your university. That is why, huwag kayong magalit sa mga CI ninyo kapag sinisita yung mga buhok kung hindi nakatali, kung yung mga lalaki hindi nakapagpagupit. Bakit? Kasi it's part of the law that the school implements. No? So, isa yun dun sa mga policy. And at the same time, it is expected for nurses to be properly groomed, to be properly wearing their uniform. Okay? So, let's go back to the law itself. So, meron tayong dalawang klase. Those which are not enforced by the state and those which are enforced by the state. So, let's start with this one. Those which are enforced by the state. Meron yung tatlo. Etong mga hindi enforced by the state, meaning wala siya talagang plano na gawin na batas tong, na ito. However, nagkaroon ng mga batas na to. It's either because of discoveries, scientific judgment, and pwede rin na based on faith. Okay? That is why you have here your natural law. So, pag sinabi nating natural law, ito yung defined by science. No? Example, si Isaac Newton, he discovered the law of gravity unintentionally. Paano? Wala, nakahiga siya sa ilalim ng puno ng mansanas at hinihintay niya yung mansanas na bumagsak. So, he thought, paano kaya babagsak yung mansanas? Okay? It's because of the law of gravity. Okay? So, that's an example of your natural law. So, the divine law naman, ito yung mga nakasulat sa Bible. Okay? Kung hindi man sa Bible, kung ano man yung mga kasulatan na meron tayo ng mga pastoral, let's say your mga Christian or catechism na mga writings na pinaniniwalaan natin. Meaning, the divine law is based on our faith. Okay? And the moral law, this one is the law or yung mga binubulong ng mga konsensya natin. Meaning, this is dictated by your conscience. Okay? Those who are, or which are enforced by the state, ito, meron silang purpose and nature of the subject matter. Meaning, ito, ginagawa na siya through writing bago siya ipatupad. And meron siyang specific na purpose. At meron siyang specific na subject kung para saan yung batas na to. Okay? So, meron tayong iba-ibang sources of law, sorry. Ayan, yung sources of law natin, so we have here the Constitution. So, pag sinabi natin Constitution, ito yung fundamental guidelines natin. Kumbaga, meron tayong basis ng Constitution which is the 1986 or 87 na Constitution wherein doon nakabase yung mga batas na pinapatupad din natin or yung mga sinusulat natin. Legislative body, these are the law or the writings which are started or written first in the legislation, dun sa mga kongreso natin, sa senado natin, bago iakyat on the executive part. No? So previous regime naman, ito yung mga pinapatupad na batas doon sa previous na administration. That is why, kung mapapansin nyo, meron mga tinatawag na presidential decree. Yung mga presidential decree na yon, even before pa, nung naunang mga pangulo ng Pilipinas, let's say, meron mga presidential decree na up until now, ginagamit pa rin natin. It's because it's from the previous regime. Okay? Local customs naman, these are the culture. Bukod sa culture, the traditions. Okay? The customary belief of our, let's say, isang tribo, yun yung paniniwala nila. In a certain group, yun yung paniniwala nila. Those are from the local customs. International laws naman, ito from the word itself, globally, internationally, it is implemented. The best example that I can give you pagdating dito sa international laws and guidelines are those protocols or policies implemented, lalo na nung kasagsagan ng COVID-19. Nung pumutok ang pandemic, noong 2020, nagkaroon ng mga international guidelines written and promulgated by the Department of Health and also ng World Health Organization, which is the international accrediting body ng pagdating sa mga sa healthcare natin. And might as well, ganun din yung galing sa CDC or yung Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Nagkaroon sila ng mga guidance na in-implement internationally. So that is an example of your international law. So, pag sinabi nating law, it has certain characteristics. So first, it should be written or meron yung authority to declare that this rule exists. That is why here in our country, diba, we have the legislative body, which is your Congress, and then after that, you have your executive body, which is the President himself. No? So, yung mga rulings, yung mga proceedings, yung mga batas na sinusulat nila, kailangan lahat yon cascaded or implemented accordingly. Kumbaga, in short or in layman's term, dapat lahat yun announced. Okay? So, dapat lahat yun nakasulat. Okay? May pirma. Otherwise, hindi siya valid. Okay? So, that's part of the essential characteristic of a law. So, we also have the government, which is the controlling authority of our system, and the Constitution. So as discussed earlier, yung Constitution, this is the fundamental law and our basic guideline or yung fundamental principle natin where when we facilitate or when we write or when we implement certain laws in the society. So the first essential to a pronounced law is it must be in writing, and it should be able to enforce control. Kasi ikaw ba naman, kung halimbawa, meron kang gusto ipatupad ng batas, i-announce mo na lang siya without proper documentation. Hindi ka paniniwalaan. Kasi baka sabihin, nakalimutan ko na yung sinabi mo eh. Whereas, kung yan ay nakasulat, it is documented, meron tayong basis. I-relate natin sa nursing profession. Whatever that you have done, it should be documented. Correct? So, lahat ng mga ginawa natin sa pasyente, lahat yon nakasulat sa patient chart. Otherwise, pag hindi nakasulat doon, it is not done. Okay? So, ganun din dito sa mga batas natin. It should be written, it should be cascaded, it should be documented. Okay? So, I have here an icebreaker. So, what I want you to do is, you may scan the QR code flash on your screen, or you may go to this website, the www.menti.com, and use the code 5334283. So, i-chat ko dun sa ating chat box para mas madali. You go to www.menti.com and use the code 5334283. Ayan, magkakaroon tayo ng konting game. Ayan, sabi ko nga sa iyo, let's make this discussion alive. Okay, so let me just share yung ating Menti. So again, you may use the code na pinakita doon sa inyong screen. Ayan. So I can see participants are ready. Let me share my screen. You can mag-join. I have 34 players. So, ano lang naman to, konting ice cream for lang. Okay, sa attendance natin, we have class. That 61. 61 participants. So, I'm expecting na mag-join yung ating 61 Okay, magala. Itong game na to, may panalo dito. Okay, so, 20 players more. So, look, nakapasok kayo. So, you just have to go to www.np.com and use the code 534283. So, 44 players. So, let's wait for another 2 minutes para mag-enter yung iba. Okay. So, ano to ha? Kaya dapat proactive kayo kasi paunahan to ng tamang sagot at makikita natin kung sino ang winner. Diba? Makikita natin yan later on. Hindi yung winner kasi lalabas yun. Okay? Ayan. So, we have 46 players, 47. Okay. We have 60 participants tayo ha. So, more than 25 nakapag-join. Ayan. So, ayan. Pag nag-50, let's start it na. Habol na lang yung iba. Okay? Alright, sige. Let's start it. So, I hope everyone's ready. Kailangan ma-practice yung pagiging keyboard warriors. So, ano na dyan ha? Andyan na yan. Okay, sige. Let's start. All you have to do is read the question and answer. You have to choose the answer. Philippine Nursing Act 2002. Okay, so we have so far 59 answers going. Ayan, so last 1 second. Okay. So the answer is RA 9173. Ayan. So later on, i-review natin yan, yung RA 9173 natin. Although, meron pa rin sumagot ng RA 7164 and RA 8504. So, ang RA 9173 po, siya po ang Philippine Nursing Act of 2002. Your RA 7164 is the Philippine Nursing Act of yung luma, okay, of 1991. Yan. So, RA 8504 is the prevention and control of HIV and AIDS in the Philippines. Okay, so hindi po yan yung hinahanap natin. Ang hinahanap natin is yung RA 9170. Okay, so tignan natin ngayon kung sino ang ating nasa top na tumagot. So, meron tayong leaderboard. Okay, so identify yourself kung sino ka man. Sino ang ating top 1? We have Marshall. Okay, sino si Marshall? Ayan. Ayan, si Marshall. Okay, sige, let us go to the next question. Okay, ready? Everyone ready? Okay. PD 996. Ayan. Okay. Okay, everyone has voted. So, the answer is compulsory immunization, and most of you got it correctly. And hindi po yan ang labor code of the Philippines. Hindi rin po yan ang code of sanitation. The compulsory immunization act or decree here in the Philippines. Okay, tingnan natin ngayon kung sino ang panalo so far. At ang ating top 1, si Marshall pa rin ba yan? Okay. Still, it is Marshall pa rin. Okay, sige. Tingnan natin kung malalamangan na si Marshall later on. Okay, ready? Okay, let's go. Ako, madali lang to, ha? Overall passing rate. What's the grade? Average. Okay, the overall average passing rate of ATN. Okay, it's 75%. Yung mga sumagot, although konti lang naman kayo, merong tatlo sa 65 at isa sa 50%, hindi po yan pasado. Okay, so 75% ang passing. Okay? So, tandaan nyo po yan mabuti. Pag yan 65 at 50, bagsak po yan. Okay, so dapat 75%. Okay, tingnan natin yung ating top 1. Okay, naku, kaya nang lumamang na ba kay Marshall? Okay, so number 1 pa rin natin si Marshall at 2,864 points. Diba? Ayan, sige. So, let's go. Ayun, lalaki naman. Hindi, fourth question ka na. Sige. So, let's start. The first true nursing law. Okay. Itong mga questions na to are lumalabas na sa board exams, ha? So, di yan just because, although sa exam yung lalabas yan, pero sa board exam, lumalabas yan. So, ang may pinakamaraming sagot is RA7164. Mali. Maling akala yan. So, the first true nursing law is Act 2808. Later on, we will discuss that. Mukhang nakalimutan or baka hindi man nabanggit before. Later on, we will discuss that. So, tingnan natin sino ang pinakamabilis at ang ating top 1. Kung si Marshall pa rin ba yan o baka meron ng lumamang sa kanya. Okay, naku, meron na nga lumamang. 16. Okay, na ang emoji niya ay 3. Ayan, si Tin, siya po ay meron 3,691 points. Okay, then, tignan natin ngayon, dito tayo magpapalawag. Malaman natin kung sino ang panalo sa ating last question. Okay, so ready na? Okay, let's do this. Ayan, the creation of the Professional Regulation Commission. This is also a board exam question. Hindi ko man pinahaba, yung nakatanong, pero the gist of it. So, what law created the Professional Regulation Commission? Ayun. So, the answer is PT 223. Okay, hindi po yan PT 539 and PT 856. Malayo yan sa creation ng PRC. Okay, later on, we will discuss that. Don't worry. Okay, so, ang pinaka nakakuha ng tamang sagot ay, at ang pinaka-nanalo ay, ayan. So, sino si Broom? Okay, sino si Broom? Sino si Broom? Okay, ako po, si Kalura, Ro Wilson. Babae ba to o lalaki? Parang pwede pang babae, pwede pang lalaki yung pangalan. Mr. or Miss? Pwede both. Pwede daw both. Mr. daw siya. Grabe kayo sa kanya. Ayan. Si Mr. Mr. Kalura. Ayan. So, congratulations. You won the first round. Meron kayong final round mamaya. Wag kayo. Ayan. O, diba? So, at least medyo na gising-gising ba ang ating diwa. Ayan. Nag-enjoy naman dun sa ating pa-icebreaker at Q&A session. Parang pa-quiz, pero mabilisan. Ayan. So, importante naman kayo mag-lag. Di ba? Wag mag-lag yung cellphone or yung kung saan man kayo nagsasagot. But anyway, so let us further discuss first yung ating Philippine Nursing Law. Ayan, dito kayo medyo nagkamali kanina, no? So, tingnan natin, no? Hindi lang po yung RA 9173 ang ugat ng Philippine Nursing Law. In fact, as early as year 1915, okay? So, meron na po tayong batas na somehow related sa nursing. No? So, actually, itong Act number 2493 of year 1915, it's the law that regulates the practice of medicine. No? Yun nga lang, dito sa batas na to, naka-umbrella yung nursing practice. So, paano naka-umbrella? Dito sa batas na to, it provided the registration and examination of nurses here in the Philippines. Okay? So, nandito yan sa Act 2493. Again, dito sa Act na to, it's not yet the really nursing law. But the thing is, naka-umbrella siya dun sa law ng medicine. Kasi dito nire-require yung registration and examination ng mga nurses, no? So, not until nagkaroon ng Act number 2808 of 1919, which is known as the first true nursing law. Okay? So, dito sa first true nursing law na to, nagkaroon ng first board examination in the Philippines. Okay? Kung saan, hindi na tayo naka-umbrella kay Act number 2493. May sariling batas na ang nursing law. Okay? At dito sa batas na to, nagkaroon ng mga board of examiners. Okay? So, tandaan, kapag may tinanong sa board exam, kasi sometimes or most of the time, nagiging tanong yan pagdating sa mga batas na related sa nursing. Ano yung first true nursing law? It's not RA 7164. It's not RA 9173. It's Act number 2808 of 1919. Okay? So, after that, syempre, nagkaroon ng mga amendments. So, nagkaroon ng RA 877, the Philippine Nursing Law of 1953, wherein nagkaroon ng provision kung sino-sino ba talaga yung magpapa-exam or magiging board of examiners sa mga nurses. Okay? And at the same time dito, nagkaroon na sila ng guidelines. Ano ba yung mga ipapa-exam? And at the same time, ano-ano ba yung mga curriculum na dapat kasama sa nursing school? Okay, nandito yon sa RA 877. Now, we have the RA 4704 wherein na-amend lang naman niya yung certain portions ng RA 877, particularly dun sa mga scope ng practice ni nurses. Okay? So, RA 6136 naman of 1970, same lang din, more on amendment lang naman. The section 17 wherein yung pagdating sa kung sino ba yung magpapa-exam, kung ano ba yung mga magiging scope ng nursing practices natin. So, very familiar tayong lahat dito sa RA 7164 and RA 9173. Si RA 7164 is the Philippine Nursing Act of 1991. Wherein si RA 9173, the Philippine Nursing Act of 2002. Wherein, up until now, dito tayo sumusunod sa RA 9173. Okay? So, ano po bang pinagkaiba niya? Simple lang. Si RA 7164, it is adopted from the previous law or acts na pinatupad under nursing. So, meaning dun sa Act 2808, doon din nag-base si 7164. So, how is that? If you want to be a nurse, you have to be in a nursing school. So, kailangan makapasok ka sa nursing school that offers a BSN program. Pag natapos ka ng 4 years, you will earn the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Okay? Now, you want to practice the nursing profession. That is when you take the board exams. Pag nakapasa ng board exams, you will have your license, you will be a registered nurse. And then go, mag-practice ka ng nursing profession. That is RA 7164. Okay? Now, ano pong pinagkaiba niya sa RA 9173? Simple lang. Kung si RA 7164, BSN, 4 years, magiging BSN ka, board exam, nakapasa, you become an RN. Same din kay RA 9173. Same, yung dalawang yun. Yun nga lang, nadagdagan siya ng continuing education. And some provisions, kung sino-sino ba yung pinapayagan na maging part ng Board of Nursing. Wherein, dapat, kung ikaw gusto mo maging Board of Nursing member, kailangan meron ka at least 10 years of nursing experience in the hospital setting, or at least 5 years in the hospital setting. You should have a master's degree in nursing. You should also have a degree in teaching. Okay, nandun yon sa RA 9170. In the event na gusto mong maging Board of Nursing member. Okay? Now, paano naman po yung iba? Paano kung ayaw naman namin maging Board of Nursing member? Okay, walang problema. Same lang din, BSN, RN, and then you undergo continuing education. That is why, kung mapapansin nyo, hinahanapan ngayon ng mga masteral, ang mga nurses, kung halimbawa na gusto nila or mapopromote sila into a higher position. Kasi, kung halimbawa, si nurse na promote siya or mapopromote siya of being, let's say, a head nurse. Si head nurse dapat merong at least 6 units of master's degree in nursing. Kapag naman si supervisor, at least 9 units of master's degree in nursing. Okay? Now, paano naman po si chief nurse? Eh, syempre, dapat tapos na siya ng master's degree. Okay? And at times, sinahanapan pa ng doctorate degree yan. Okay, pero all in all, it regulates the practice of nursing in the Philippines. Okay, nandito yon sa RA 9173 natin. And at the same time, nandiyan din ang continuing education. Okay, yung mga kailangan nating mag-undergo ng mga intravenous therapy. Okay, nandiyan yun. CPD, yes, you're correct. Na dapat ang mga nurses daw mag-undergo ng CPD units. Nandoon yun. Nandoon din yan sa RA 9170 kasi it mostly focused on continuing education. Okay? Now, let us discuss the relevant laws related to the nursing practice. So you have your proclamation number 539 of 1958, whereas we have the proclamation of Nurses Week every last week of October. As early as 1950s, siya-celebrate na ang Nurses Week. Huwag kayong malito na kapag tinanong na kailan yung International Nurses Week. That is from May 6 to 12. Okay? Kasi tinugma yung International Nurses Week sa birthday ni Florence Nightingale, which is May 12. Okay? But here, in the Philippines, kailan ang Nurses Week? It's every last week of October because of proclamation number 539. Okay? So, every last week of October po yan. Kasi yung every May na sineselebrate, international yun, worldwide yun na celebration. But if you want to be specific, at pag ang tanong is specific, in the Philippines, annual celebration is every last week of October through the proclamation number 539. Okay? Now, ito yung tanong natin kanina. Presidential Decree number 223. It's the creation of the PRC. Kaya tayo merong PRC, it's because of PB 223. Okay? Kaya meron tayong PRC na nagre-regulate ng mga professionals. It's because of Presidential Decree number 223. Okay? Now, we also have RA 7392. So ano ba yan? That's actually the midwifery law. However, why is it related to the nursing practice? Kasi pwede tayong kumuha ng at least 20 deliveries and then we can take the board exam of midwifery and then pag nakapasa, we become RM or registered midwife. Okay? Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, meron mga nurses na RN, RM. Paano yun? Naiisip nyo, bakit ganun? Parang bata naman ito. RN na siya. Pero wag kayo hindi ako RM. Agad, pilingera. Nagsabi, pag mukhang bata, ganun agad. Anyway, so, meron kasing batas na nagsasabi na kapag nag-attend kayo ng at least 20 deliveries and if you are already a registered nurse, yan, you can take the board exam for midwifery, provided that you attended at least 20 deliveries. Okay? Now, RA 5181, it's the reciprocity. So sa reciprocity naman, if you will define reciprocity, it's allowing a certain person to practice nursing in a country wherein meron tayong agreement or reciprocity. Halimbawa, example lang ha. So, example, si Japan at si Philippines, meron silang reciprocity or agreement. Si nurse ng Philippines, pwedeng pumunta kay Japan to practice the nursing profession. And ganun din si Japan, vice versa. But I think nowadays, medyo nawawala yung reciprocity natin. Bakit? Kasi ang dami ng requirements na hinahanap pagdating kay nurse. Diba? So, ang dami ng magsasabi na kailangan bago ka makapunta sa, let's say, sa United Kingdom, dapat meron kang IELTS. Diba? Kailangan pasado ka ng NCLEX kung gusto mo sa US. May OET pa yan. I think it's in New Zealand or in Australia. Meron pang German language kapag dating sa Germany. So, medyo nawawala yung sa reciprocity natin. But we have a law pagdating dyan sa reciprocity na yan. We also have RA 6425, the Dangerous Drugs Act, wherein hindi tayo po pwedeng magbigay, magbenta, magdala ng mga dangerous drugs. Kasi otherwise, it's punishable by law. Unless yan po ay in order ng physician. At dapat yan po ay written on the patient chart na ibibigay natin siya. Okay? RA 4073, it's the treatment of leprosy. So, nung unang-unang panahon, yung ketong, pinandidirihan siya. No? So, natatakot yung mga tao kapag may nakita silang tao na merong ketong. Not until pinormulate itong RA 4073 to treat the leprosy or yung ketong natin. Kaya nga, di ba meron tayong leprosarium? Kasi doon nilagay yung mga pasyente na to na para makaka-receive sila ng proper treatment. Hindi lang dun sa leprosarium itself, but also in the local or rural health units in different provinces. And ito, tanong din to kanina, at hindi ito nawawala sa board exam, the PD 996. So, the compulsory immunization for all children below 8 years old against communicable diseases. Kaya nga mas pinaigting pa ito ngayon eh. And I think baka lumabas din ito ngayong coming board exam kasi mayroong project ng government, yung Chikiting Ligtas. Diba? Yung Chikiting Ligtas na kasama yon sa PD 996, the compulsory immunization. Pasok doon yung oral polio vaccine and yung ating measles, rubella vaccine. Okay? Kasi those are communicable diseases which can be prevented through vaccination or immunization. So that's because of PD 996. Okay? Now, we have also PD 825. So si PD 825 naman, proper waste disposal. That is why kapag tayo ay nasa hospital, very keen pagdating sa pag-dispose ng mga waste product, dapat isi-segregate yan ng maayos. Okay? Ganun din pag nasa labas. Kaya nga, di ba, mapapansin nyo even at malls, merong proper segregation. Ihihiwalay nyo yung nabubulok sa hindi nabubulok. Ihihiwalay yung mga recyclable, yung mga bottles. It's because of PD 825. Okay? Now, PD 856 naman, it's the sanitation code. Ito yung sinasabi nila, sabi nga, is tapat ko, linis ko. It's because of this. You have to maintain cleanliness of the environment. Okay? RA 4226 is the Hospital Licensure Act. Tandaan nyo to. Kapag kayo ay nurses na, tandaan nyo na dapat mag-a-apply kayo sa ospital na merong lisensya. At yung lisensya na yon, it should be issued by the Department of Health. Bakit? Kasi it's under RA 4226 na lahat ng hospital sa Pilipinas should be licensed and should be issued by the Department of Health a license to operate bago yan mag-operate, no? Magkaroon ng mga pasyente. 442 is the Labor Code of the Philippines. So, as early as now, I suggest alamin nyo yung laman ng Labor Code of the Philippines. No? Hindi man siya, but you can use that. Pag kayo ay part na ng manpower workforce na dito sa Pilipinas, diyan nakalagay ilang oras ba dapat yung work nyo sa isang linggo and beyond, let's say, beyond 40 hours. it should be filed as overtime. Nandyan yun sa PD 442. Nandyan yung karapatan natin bilang manggagawa ng Pilipinas. PD 651 is birth registration. So kapag merong nanganak, merong baby, kailangan i-register yon within 30 days with the civil registrar. And the RA 6675, the Generics Act of 1988, wherein nire-require lahat ng gamot na ipe-prescribe ni doktor and isusulat niya sa chart na merong generic name. Okay, so that's because of the generics. Okay, so let's have here nursing as a profession. So sabi nyo nga kanina, yung nursing, hindi nyo man gusto, but some of you agreed that nursing is a calling, nursing is passion. So, but all in all, nursing is an occupation that requires a unique body of knowledge and skills and which serves the society. And now, a professional nurse is a person who has completed a basic nursing educational program and is licensed in the country or state to practice professional nursing. So, ano na ba yung qualifications nun? Siyempre, you should be prepared mentally, emotionally, physically, and professional preparation. You should have the license to practice, and also, you should be a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So, we have here the license to practice. So, paano nga ba tayo makakapag-practice ng nursing dito sa Pilipinas or even in other countries? So, syempre dapat meron tayong lisensya. Okay? So, a license is a legal document given by the government that permits a person to practice yung kanyang profession. Otherwise, kung wala yun, illegal yun. Okay? So, the appropriate authority to administer and to implement and enforce the regulatory policies pagdating sa licensing ng mga professional is the PRC. Okay? It's the Professional Regulation Commission. Tandaan, sa board exam, kapag tinanong who administers, implement, and enforce the examination, regulation, and licensing of the nursing profession, it's the PRC. Okay? Now, ito yung medyo tricky question. Kung si PRC, siya yung nag-enforce, siya yung nag-regulate and nag-implement ng licensing and regulation ng mga profession kasama ang nursing, sino ngayon ang nagbibigay ng exam ng nursing? Okay? Sino ngayon? It's the, yes, that's correct. That's the BON or the Board of Nursing. Yun yung pinagkaiba nila. So, wag kayong malilito. Again, Board of Nursing, siya po ang nagbibigay ng board exam. Okay? Siya po ang nagbibigay ng mga question ng nursing board exam. Okay? Si PRC, siya yung nagbibigay ng regulation at ng lisensya. Okay? So, malinaw tayo dun, ha? So, the registration is the recording of names of persons who have qualified under the law to practice their respective profession. And under RA 9173, we have two methods on how to practice on our profession or our registration. It's either through passing the examination, so registration by examination, and registration through reciprocity. So sa examination, it's the usual process that we do. You have to graduate Bachelor of Science in Nursing, you have to complete the requirements required by the PRC, and then you have to submit it, and then mabibigyan ka ng date of examination, at yung examination galing kay DOF. Okay? You have to pass it. Okay? Pag nakapasa ka doon, okay, may license ka na. You are already registered. Now, si reciprocity, ito yung ni-mention natin kanina. Ito yung di-discuss natin kanina. Whereas, ito yung merong agreement yung countries to practice the profession of nursing in both ends. Okay? Basta pasok dun sa jurisdiction nila. But again, nowadays, is medyo naiiba na yung reciprocity natin, no? Pero pag tinanong sa board exam, reciprocity is the mutual agreement of countries to enjoy the privileges between those nations. Okay? Dalawa po ang method to obtain a license, by reciprocity and by examination. Now, how will you qualify for licensure exams? Let's say, magbo-board exam na tayo kasi you want to be a registered nurse. So, simple lang. You have to be a Filipino citizen. Kung kayo hindi kayo Filipino citizen, you have to ask for a permit. Okay? So, na kayo ay nakatira dito at meron kayong permit na tumira dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? Good moral character, and also you should be a holder of bachelor of degree in nursing. Okay? So what are the requirements for the examination? Ito yung ipapasa ninyo sa PRC kasi ito yung pinaka-requirement para makapag-take kayo ng examination. So number 1 na dyan, bukod dun sa kayo ay BSN, dapat meron kayong diploma, meron din kayong transcript of records. Now, alam naman ng school yan kung anong ilalagay doon sa TOR. Kasi doon sa TOR, nilalagay din yung date of graduation at saka yung special order. Now, ano ba tong special order na to? May nakalagay kasi doon sa may baba ng TOR, may remarks doon kung para saan yung TOR na yon. And dapat ang nakalagay doon is for board exam purposes. Okay, but don't worry kasi alam yan ng school. Kasi merong ibang mga nakalagay na special order sa TOR, nakalagay not valid for transfer, merong mga ganon. And also, meron nakalagay for graduate studies. But if you are going to take the board exam, dapat yun yung special order for board exam purposes. Now, you also have yung ACPA-related or related learning experience nyo or yung RLE. That is why, as early as now, you have to complete your RLE. Diba, dapat required kayo na meron kayong major cases, minor cases, number of deliveries, normal and CS deliveries, and also cord dressing. Okay? Lahat yun dapat nakapirma. Sino pong nakapirma? Yung clinical instructor. Okay? Or kung hindi man yung clinical instructor, pero pwede yung chief nurse ng hospital kung saan kayo na duty or yung kanyang authorized representative. In addition doon sa Dean of School of Nursing and Clinical Instructor. So, dapat nakapirma po yun. So, kasama din yung birth certificate, marriage certificate as applicable, and clearance kung halimbawa kayo ay nagkaroon ng kaso sa korte before. And along with that, you have to fill out the application form. Alam niyo, maswerte na kayo ngayon kasi kung mag-board exam kayo, ang application na lang is through online. Hindi na katulad before, nung ako yung nag-exam, pumipila kami as early as 5 a.m. sa PRC Moraita para lang masama. Kasi may quota ang PRC noon na ito lang i-accommodate nila within that day. Ang daming nursing students noon nang graduate kami sa batch ko. So, you have to be there as early as 5 a.m. para lang makaabot dun sa quota nila. Kung hindi ka makaabot, better luck next time. Or better luck the next day. Pipila ka ulit ng ganun kahaba. Okay, but now, consider yourselves lucky kasi through online ng application most likely. Kung meron man, maiksi na, mas maganda na proseso ngayon dun sa PRC for you to apply your requirements for examination. So, dito tayo magkakatanong. Siyempre, kapag kayo ay nakapagpasa na ng requirements is, kailangan maipasa nyo yung mismong board exam. Okay, no? So, tandaan ha, ang passing overall, general average, ibig sabihin, 5 ang test sa nursing, test 1 to 5. Yung test 1 to 5 na yun, dapat ang total nun na average is 75%. Okay? At dapat wala kayong rating below 60% in any subject. For example, test 1 is 75, test 2 is 75, test 3 is 75, test 4 is 75, test 5, however, is 59. Okay? Hindi po yun pwede. Kasi dapat, kailangan minimum ng grade nyo each subject or each test part is 60. Now, paano yun, ma'am? Sayang naman, ang average din nun nasa 75. Yes, that's correct. That is why, pwede nyong i-retake kung ano yung subject na bumaba sa 60%. It's just that, for you to pass it, single lang isang retake lang ulit. Kailangan, ang grade niya na dun sa i-take niya na exam, dun na part is 75. Okay? So, isang retake, pero dapat 75 siya. Okay? So, meron tayong question dito. Anong year or batch ko daw? Yan. So, yan. Nagtatanong tayo eh. Dahil dyan, hulaan nyo. Hulaan nyo. Anong batch? O, sige. type nila kung ano yung batch na hula nyo na ano ko, no, na batch ko. Yan, maling sagot, minus. Hindi, wala mga exam tayo, exam. So, hulaan nyo. Isipin nyo na lang mamaya kung anong batch, no? Okay lang naman manghula. 2013. 2013 talaga. 2015. Ayan, 2016. Uy, tandaan nyo, sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, more than 10 years na ako in the nursing profession. Ano ba kayo? Isipin nyo mabuti. Tama nga ba? Teka nga, ikakalto ko nga. 2023. Oh, more than 10 years na nga. Tama. Hoy, Mr. Fernandez, grabe ng mga 2005, ah. Ayan, sige, tignan ko kung may tamang sagot, kung may tamang nakahula. 2016, 2000, ayan, 2010, ayan. Actually, ayan, you're correct, Miss Angelica Macaso. I'm batch 2009, nursing. Ayan, 2012, hindi. 2009. So, 14 years na pala ako in the nursing profession. Tama, no? 2023 minus 2009. Oh yeah, 14. Talaga nag-calculate ako, di ba? So, yeah, 14 years na ako pala. More than 10 years na. Grabe kayo, 9 years old pa lang kayo. O di kayo na, Gen Z. Ayan. O di ba, 9 years old pa lang kayo. Ayan. Okay lang yun. Duman din naman ako sa pagiging 9 years old. Ayan. So, yun ang tatanong, ilang taon ako nang graduate. O sige, ito na lang. Hulaan niyo kung ilang taon na ako. Ayan. Sige, hulaan niyo na ako. Ilang taon na ako. Ayan. 52. Sino to? Sagun Maricar? Miss Maricar, kick nga kita. Joke lang. Ayan. Ayan. 52, grabe ka. 52. Kick kita, labas na. Joke lang. Ayan. 38. Naku, grabe kayo. Alam nyo, dito na i-entertain yung mga sagot nyo. Ito na lang, may tanong. Man, in case na may bagsak na isang subject, next retake po, yun ang board exam or pwede rin i-retake agad. That is, you have to coordinate with the PRC, and then it's either pwede ka nilang bigyan ng special schedule or pwede na isabay ka dun sa susunod na board exam. Yun, so i-coordinate mo siya. Yun. Kasi bihira yung merong mga ganong retake. So I think may na-experience sa ganyan yung batch ko. Parang sinabay siya doon sa next na schedule ng board exam. Kasi sobrang dami rin ng mga nurses na nag-retake. So it depends dun sa schedule na ibibigay sa inyo once na i-coordinate niyo siya. Okay, so tignan natin usapan, idol lang nakatama sa inyo. So, ay hindi, meron pala. Pero, anyway, grabe kayo manghula ng edad, ah. Ayan, but anyway, sige. Ba't ba nag-uusap ng edad? Anyway, wala tuloy ako. I graduated year 2009. So, I graduated, ayan, ma'am, ano nga po ulit yung issue na nag-leak yung answer, then umulit yung batch na yun mag-leak? Yung issue na nag-leak, it's because of RA Gapos na board exam review center na nagkaroon daw ng leakage si Gapos doon sa, I'm not sure kung anong part ng test yon. Test 2 yata or test 5. Basta isang part ng board exam. So nagkaroon daw ng leakage. So ang nangyari, umulit yung batch na yun na mag-take. So yun yung issue na yun, yung leakage ng questions and answer itself. Nandoon yun. So I think yata yun, 2008? If I'm not mistaken, or 2007. Mga ganun. So, yun yung niya. So, let's go back. Tignan natin usapang edad. Ayoko na. Ayan. So, kaya tayo mag-usap ng usapang edad. Kasi, nagugulo lang yung natin, yung discussion natin. No? So, ibig sabihin na sa momentum na wala. Natanong kayo edad. Joke lang. Ayan. So, basta yun, wala niya na lang. I'm batch 2009. But, I graduated, ilan taon nga ba ako graduate? 2009? 19. 19 years old, graduate na ako. Actually, hindi, wala pang 19 pa lang kasi birthday pa lang ako eh. Bago yung, nauna yung graduation, bago yung birthday ko. So, 18, graduate na ako. Ayan. So, anyway, let's go back to the discussion. Ayan, 32 years old, sabi ni Mary Justine, ayan. Tama yan. Ayan, ano na ako, 30, hindi, birthday na pala ako. But anyway, sige yung ginaisipin, I stopped aging at 30. Ayan. So, tigilan natin usapang edad, hindi tayo matatapos. Yung slides ko, 160 plus. Wala pa tayo sa kalahati. So, anyway, ayan. So, let's go back. But, ayun. So, pagdating sa edad, tandaan nyo, pag nakita nyo ako, nakita nyo yung pangalan ko, ako yung prof nyo or proctor nyo, si ma'am. Si ma'am yung nag-stop mag-age ng 30. Yan. Yan tandaan nyo yan But anyway, sige. So, let's go back. So, yun. So, kailangan 75% ang general average nyo overall for your exams at dapat hindi kayo bababa ng 60% or yung score nyo dapat walang below 60 sa lahat ng subject or in any subject. GWA reveal, ay naku, wag na, girl. Kasi sabi ko nga sa iyo, may stress ako. Noong ako ay nag-algebra. Yan. 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 But ano naman yan? Alam nyo, eto yan ha. Pag kayo na nurse na at kayo ay nandito na sa nursing practice, yung TOR nyo, yung diploma nyo ng nursing, tandaan nyo, importante, dapat pasado. Okay? Ang importante, graduate kayo, may lisensya kayo, para makapagtrabaho kayo. Kasi in actual, pag nandito na kayo sa mismong hospital, let's say, hindi mo kayo magtatanungan, hindi mo kayo mag-endorsean, uy girl, anong GWA mo ng college? May ganun ba? Kasama ba yun sa endorsement? Hindi. The point is, it's how you work as a nurse. Okay, yun ang tatandaan nyo. Hindi nyo naman sinasama sa endorsement yun. Ilan ang jiwa mo nung college. Then nakuha mong grade sa, let's say, MS nung time mo. Hindi na yun kasama. Diba? So, whatever your GWA is, tandaan nyo, all you have to do is work on passing. You have to work on graduating. You have to work on earning your BSN degree. And after that, you have to work for your board exam para makapasa kayo. Okay, yun yung importante doon. But the GWA is maganda naman. Yan, hindi ko i-reveal, basta maganda. Ayun, pero may stress ako, natatandaan nyo. And I'm proud of my stress in algebra. So, anyway, ayan. So, reconsideration of ratings. Ayan. So, reconsideration of ratings. So, meron mga times na si PRC and si BOM, nire-reconsider nila yung ratings. Paano? Kapag nagkaroon ng mechanical, clerical, or clear errors, meaning mga technical na error na hindi maiiwasan. No? So, pwede i-reconsider yung rating. Good question na na-mention nyo yung regarding sa leakage. Kasi, meron mga nag-claim ng mga panahon na yun. Bakit po kami kasama sa kailangan mag-retake? Hindi naman kami nag-review kay RA Gapos. Meron mga ganon, di ba? So, yung mga ganong errors kasi, it's not a clerical error or a mechanical error, but rather, yung po ay talagang sadyang merong anomalya na nangyayari. So, it won't be considered as part of reconsidering your rating. So, after the review of test paper, that's the time kayo pwedeng i-reconsider for the reconsideration of ratings. Okay? Now, for example, kayo ay nakapasa na. Pasado na sa board exam, RN na. Kayo ay mag-oath taking. Ayan. So, sa oath taking, kayo po ay manunumpa. And under sa Board of Nursing na gagawin ninyo at ipapractice ninyo ang nursing profession ng taus-puso at hindi kayo gagawa ng harm sa ating mga patients. So, ayan. Usually, it takes place within 15 days na upon the release of the results of our licensure examinations. And ina-announce naman yun ng PRC usually. Pero I think nowadays, hindi na umabot ng 15 days. Meron din na mga times na more than 15 days. But don't worry kasi definitely, you will undergo oath taking pag kayo ay nakapasa ng board exam. Ayan. So, etong part na to, revocation of license, eto yung hindi natin dapat i-aim. No? Dapat sa revocation of license, hindi yan yung goals natin. Hindi yan kasama sa goals natin. Dapat sa revocation of license, tandaan nyo, hindi natin ito papangarapin. Hindi ito yung dapat na ma-encounter natin. Kasi You studied for 4 years. We studied for 4 years, di ba? Hirap po, pagod, puyat. Kasi imagine, yung lisensyang pinaghirapan, mare-revoke lang. So no, tandaan nyo, hindi pa pwede yun. So sabi ko nga, alagaan natin yung lisensya natin. And pag nangyari kasi na revocation of license, well, dumadaan pa rin naman yan sa due process, ano? Pero, kailangan pa rin nating dumaan din at the same time dun sa stress na meron yung pagdating sa revocation ng license. And it's not good for our health, emotions, psychological health, physical health. Hindi maganda. Okay? So, kailan ba nare-revoke yung license? And yung ating registration. Simple lang naman. Tandaan nyo, the PRC itself has the power, kasi silang taga-regulate, di ba? Silang taga-bigay ng lisensya natin. So, they also have the power to revoke or suspend our license and registration. So, kailan yun? For any causes mentioned in Section 22 of RA 9173, ano po yung nakalagay sa Section 22? It's all about the negligence and malpractice pagdating sa nursing profession. Okay? So, unprofessional and unethical conduct na ginawa natin, huwag naman din sana. There is gross incompetence or serious ignorance and also malpractice and negligence. And ito, use of fraud, deceit, and false statement. Ayan, so yung pagpamimeke ng mga documents natin. Violation of the Code of Ethics and the Code of Technical Standards for Nursing Practice. And all in all, mare-revoke lang naman ang lisensya natin kapag tayo ay may ginawang hindi maganda. Okay? Paano kung hindi maganda, ma'am? Baka magkamali po kami pagdating sa mismong duty na po namin, mismong hospital na duty. Yes, there is a possibility. And mind you, in the hospital setting, there are still medication errors that could result to adverse effects pagdating sa mga patients. That is why you have to be careful. Okay? Kailangan kung ano man yung gagawin natin doon sa mismong practice na natin, kailangan isipin natin mabuti. Kaya nga, balikan natin yung mga basic bago natin siya gawin, bago natin siya ulit-ulitin. Diba? Kasi kailangan alam natin siya. Tandaan nyo, there are no rooms for error pagdating sa pasyente. Kasi buhay yan. Buhay ang hinahawakan natin sa pasyente. Kaya nga, huwag kayong magtampo kapag at times sa skills lab or sa return demonstration, nasisigawan kayo ng mga CI, no? So, nakikita ko yan sa campus, ano? Nakikita ko yung kung paano naman mag-return demo. Kasi, personally, well, I don't shout pagdating sa mga estudyante ko. I really don't. Pero at times, nakikita ko yung mga estudyante na nanghuhula versus doon sa mga estudyante na alam yung ginagawa. Okay? And sana, itong batch na to, doon kayo sa mga estudyante na nag-aaral. You have to study smart. Okay? I don't really use the term study hard. No, you have to study smart. And when I say study smart, alam nyo dapat kung ano yung basic, alam nyo dapat kung ano yung ginagawa nyo. Kasi once you have your license, you're on your own. Okay? Nandun na kayo sa setting na kung saan I already have my license, so they are expecting me to do some things or yung mga procedure na to professionally. Okay? That's part of it. Okay, so, nandun yung pressure, yes, pero once na makuha nyo naman na yan, once na magawa nyo na siya in a routine manner, well, it's as simple as that. Okay, so, it's like performing or doing your passion every day. And habang ginagawa nyo yung passion na yun, wag nating hahayaan na mawala yung iniingatan natin na lisensya. You keep your patient safe. Kapag safe ang pasyente natin, safe ang lisensya natin. That's it. Okay, so yan tatandaan ninyo. So, now, let's go doon sa mga reason kung bakit mare-revoke yung ating license. Ayan, no? Wag naman sana. So, these are just the reasons why some nurses lose their registration or license. So, number one na dyan, it's because of tort. So, what is tort? So, it's a legal wrong committed against a person or a person's property. So, when you talk about tort, it's not just about physical injuries. Yung mga tipong, uy, sinuntok ako, it's tort. Yes, it's part of tort. But also, it can include emotional, economic or reputational injuries, as well as violations of privacy and liability. Now, we have two types of tort. We have intentional tort and unintentional tort. This concept is usually included at laging tinatanong walang palya sa board exam pagdating sa tort. Lalo na itong mga intentional and unintentional torts na to. So ano bang meron sa intentional torts? So you have 5. So you have assault, battery, false imprisonment, invasion of privacy, and defamation. So sa assault, it's simple as this. Halimbawa, may patient kayo na 6 years old. 6 years old patient ayaw uminom ng gamot. So sabi ni nurse ganito, sige, pag di ka uminom ng gamot, injection ng kita sa puwet. That is assault. Okay? So, alam mo na ayaw uminom ng bata. So sobrang pikon mo, ay naku, injection na lang kita. May mga ganon. And it happens. Okay? It's part of assault. Battery is defined as unwanted touch. Pag sinabi natin unwanted touch, ito yung bigla-bigla mo na lang hahawakan si patient at ang dating sa kanila ay nananansing ka. Okay, that is why kapag hahawakan niyo si patient, you have to take note na magpapaalam kayo. Kasi there are patients who are accustomed to different beliefs. Okay? Halimbawa, si patient ay Muslim. Ang Muslim na patient na babae, dapat ang titingin dyan na healthcare worker, babae din. Hindi sila nag-aalaw na lalaki ang titingin sa babae. Ay, bawal yun. Kasi it's part of their custom. Otherwise, mamaya, bigla mong hawakan yan, you can be charged of battery. Okay? False imprisonment, ito po yung hindi natin pwedeng ikulong sa ospital. Halimbawa, si patient, wala siyang pambayad. Sabihin natin, ay, hindi po kayo makakalabas kasi hindi pa po kayo nakakabayad. Wrong. Okay? Kasi you can be charged as false imprisonment. Eh, ma'am, paano po yun? Paano sila makakabayad? Eh, wala nga pong pambayad. So, simple. You have to refer them dun sa social worker. You have to refer them dun sa mga business offices. Baka may iiwan sila na collateral. Okay? Or promissory note. Okay? Invasion of privacy, tandaan niyo ha, in the actual practice and in the board exams, laging merong mga tanong na pertaining to privacy. Yung simpleng pagkatok sa pintuan bago kayo pumasok sa kwarto, it's already practicing privacy ng pasyente. We respect the privacy of the patient through that. So, that's part of privacy, yung implementing ng privacy natin. Defamation, ito yung paninirang puri na sinasabi nila. We have two types. We have slander and libel. Yung slander, ito yung verbal abuse. No? So, verbally sinisiraan ka, verbally kung ano yung sinasabi against you. And libel, ito yung through writing. Okay? Unintentional torts can be negligent and malpractice. Now, let us discuss negligence. So, what's negligence? So, simple lang naman yan. Kung makikita niyo yung definition nito, it's very, very in-depth or in detail, no? But let me give you a layman's definition ng negligence. It's as simple as this. As nurses, we are expected to perform our duty. Okay? Our responsibility is expected. Okay? Now, however, hindi nagawa yung duty na yun. Okay? Example, you have a patient, an elderly patient, and the patient is high risk for fall. Okay? However, si nurse, nakalimutan niyang itaas yung side rails. Nahulog si patient, nabukulan, nagkaroon ng internal bleeding. Pwedeng makasuhan si nurse of negligence. Bakit? Alam mo na ang pasyente kapag high risk for fall, dapat fall safety measures, dapat nakataas ang side rails. However, di mo siya nagawa. Okay? That is negligence. Okay? Now, how does it differ from malpractice? Si malpractice naman, in a usual sense, it implies na you step beyond your duty. Okay? Halimbawa, tayo mga nurses, we are very familiar on what to administer sa mga patients natin. Kasi, well, we are able to conduct medication review and drug study. So, yung isang patient, in pain siya, kaya lang, walang nakalagay sa chart. So, ang ginawa ni nurse, nag-prescribe ng pain medication. That is malpractice. Bakit? Kasi you step beyond your authority and your duty. Okay? In some terms, ang malpractice, it's also termed as professional negligence, no? Kasi you are doing your duty, but however, you step beyond it. So you have the 6 elements of malpractice. You have duty, wherein you are performing yung duty mo na, halimbawa, you are a nurse or nasa shift ka, you are on duty. However, nagkaroon ka ng breach, okay? You step beyond your responsibility. You have foreseen that yung gagawin mo is possible na merong impact kay patient and there could be a cause sa patient that could cause harm or injury and damages. So that is your malpractice. Now, remember that malpractice is the #1 or the leading cause of medical lawsuit, not just here in the Philippines, but also all over the world. Okay? It's because of medical incompetence. That is why, kapag hindi kayo sure sa gagawin nyo or sa ginagawa ninyo, always ask your immediate superior. Okay? Or yung mga senior nurses ninyo. Okay, we have a question here. Sa negligence, ma'am, may commission at omission pa po. Pwede po magbigay kayo ng example ng situation. Okay, sige. Yung commission at omission, as mentioned earlier, itong definition na kinuha ko ng negligence is very deep. Ano? But wherein sa negligence, you commit an act. Okay? You commit an act. Okay? Yung omission naman, you omitted an act. Okay? Yun ang tatandaan nyo. Halimbawa, sa negligence is this. Sa ano muna tayo? Sa omission. Yung omission kasi yung binigay ko na example kanina eh. Kumbaga, meron kang na-omit, meron kang kulang na nagawa na act. Okay? So, gaya ng example ko kanina, yung fall risk na patient natin, nakalimutan niya, na-omit niya yung pagtaas ng side rails. Ang ending, nahulog si patient. Okay? So, that is negligence. Kasi na-omit yung act na pagtaas ng side rails. Paano naman po yun sa commission? You committed an act. How? Halimbawa, si nurse, alam niya na kapag tayo ay magbibigay, let's say, ng NGT feeding. Okay? So, familiar naman ano, sa NGT feeding? Familiar? Na-discuss ng NGT feeding? Emoji, please. Okay, na-discuss ng NGT feeding. Okay, so part ng NGT feeding natin, bago mo ibigay or i-introduce yung mismong feeding formula sa pasyente, is you have to position the patient and you have to auscultate for bowel movements or bowel sound. However, binigay na ni nurse yung kanyang NGT formula, kaya lang nagkulang or kumbaga meron siyang kinomit na procedure pero hindi angkop doon sa mismong proseso natin. Okay, ano nangyari? Hindi niya, let's say, na-check or pinosisyon niya yung patient niya pero low Fowlers lang. Okay? So, ano nangyari? Na-aspirate si patient. Okay, that is part of your commission. Okay, kasi na-commit mo na eh. Nagawa mo na yung pinaka-procedure. Yun nga lang, hindi siya tama. Hindi siya ayon doon sa guidelines at doon sa proseso. Okay, nakuha? Is that clear? I hope that answers the question. Or isang scenario pa? Okay na, alright. Sige. So, that's the difference of it. It's just that you are, sa negligence kasi, alam mo dapat yung gagawin kasi that's expected of you. Nagagawin mo siya as a nurse. Bakit? Kasi inaral siya. Okay? Kasi it's part of the basic. That is why I keep on telling you, you review your basic. You should know your basic knowledge. Okay? Yung mga fundamentals ninyo. Kasi otherwise, kapag meron tayong hindi nagawa dyan or nagawa man natin pero mali, okay? That's part of negligence. Okay? Sige. So, now let's go dun sa mas mabigat na konti, yung krimen or yung crime. Ano? So, na-discuss natin earlier yung ating law wherein kapag na-violate natin yan, there is a crime. Okay? So, sa crime, there's a criminal act and a criminal intent. So, sa criminal act, it's the act itself. Okay? Ibig sabihin, ito yung mismong krimen na ginawa mo or nagawa mo. Intent, ito yung iniisip mo. Ito yung plan mo to commit a crime. Okay? Yun yung intention mo dito sa criminal intent. Now, pagdating dito sa crime, tandaan natin, tayo mga nurses, we may incur a criminal liability. Okay? Kailan? Kailan tayo pwedeng magkaroon ng criminal liability? Tuwing tayo ay nag-commit ng crime or pag nag-perform tayo ng act which is an offense against a person or property or nag-perform tayo ng tort. Okay? Kumbaga, yung mga unintentional and intentional torts natin could be a crime. Okay? Now, according to the criminal liabilities, meron tayo syempre yung sangkot ng mga tao. So, sino-sino ba itong mga to? You have your principal, accomplice, and accessory. Again, take note of this. This is also a common board exam question. Kasi, usually, nagbibigay ng scenario sa board exam. And then, itatanong doon, sino doon yung principal, sino yung accomplice, sino yung accessory. Okay? So, ito lang ang i-identify nyo para mas madali. Una, kailangan masahin nyo mabuti yung scenario pagdating dun sa question. And identify the principal. Sino po ba si principal? Siya po yung mastermind. Okay? Pag sinabi nating mastermind, siya po yung may pinakaunang nakaisip dun sa act itself. Kumbaga, siya yung mismong gumawa ng krimen. Okay? Siya yung nagplano. Siya yung may intention. That is your principal. Now, sino naman po si accomplice? Si accomplice, hindi man siya yung nakaisip ng plano at hindi man siya yung may direct na crime na gumawa, tinulungan niya naman si principal na gawin yung krimen. Okay? So, that is your accomplice. Now, si accessory naman, si accessory pa pwedeng nandun or wala siya dun sa crime scene, no? Pero, tinulungan niya si accomplice at si principal na ma-execute yung crime. Paano po yun? Halimbawa, sasabihin ni accessory, o sige, gawin nyo na yung gusto nyo, yung plano nyo. Ako nang bahala, itatago ko na yung mga ebidensya ninyo. Ako nang bahalang magsumira dun sa mga ebidensya ninyo. Ako mag-provide ng getaway car nyo. That is accessory. So, halimbawa, ganito. Si principal gusto niyang mangidnap. No? Kinidnap niya ngayon yung isang, let's say, isang bata. So, manidnap niya yung bata. Tapos si accomplice sabi niya, sige, para makidnap mo yan, ako yung magtatali. Okay? So, tinulungan niya si principal. Ngayon sabi ni accessory, sige, ipagdadrive ko kayo kung saan man natin ilalagay yung kinidnap na bata. Or pagdating dun sa mismong crime scene, sige, dyan na kayo sa loob, si accessory magbabantay sa labas. Okay, that is your criminal liabilities, yung mga person involved in the criminal liabilities. Now, based on that, meron din tayo syempre yung mga circumstances. Okay? So, dito sa mga circumstances na to, tandaan nyo, si justifying, exempting, mitigating, and aggravating. Let's make a mnemonic. So, ang mnemonic natin, si Gemma, justifying, J, E, exempting, M, mitigating, and A is aggravating. So, tandaan nyo yung apat na yan. So, si justifying, it's as simple as this. Meron kang specific or valid na reason kung bakit mo ginawa yung isang krimen or bakit mo siya nagawa. Okay? Example, si nurse, magbibigay siya ng gamot kay patient. However, pagpasok niya na sa kwarto ni patient, si patient, tinangka na gahasain si nurse. So, ngayon nanlaban si nurse. Hinampas niya ngayon ng IV pole si patient. Sabi ngayon ni patient, magdedemanda siya kasi nabuhulan siya. Okay? At mas tumagal pa yung stay niya sa hospital. The nurse can be exempted or kumbaga yung ginawa ni nurse na action can be justifiable because it's a form of self-defense. Okay? So, the best example of justifying circumstances, kasi wala siyang liability doon kasi it's part of self-defense. Bakit? Kasi tinangka niyang gahasain si nurse. Okay? Exempting naman, from the word itself, you are exempted from the crime. Kumbaga, exempted ka, hindi ka makukulong, hindi ka mapaparusahan. So, sino-sino ba itong mga to? Usually, ito yung mga persons who are insane or yung mga persons who are suffering from mental health conditions. I don't know if you already have your tour of duty in the National Center for Mental Health. Kasi dun sa mental hospital, sa may Mandaluyong, merong isang pavilion doon. Kasi na-assign ako sa pavilion na yun Pavilion 3. It's for male patient, yun nga lang, dun sa pavilion na yun, hindi sila yun talagang mga ordinaryong pasyente. Kasi na-admit sila doon, it's because meron silang kinumit na crime. However, they are exempted from being criminally liable kasi napatunayan na meron silang sakit sa pag-iisip. Example, yung patient ko doon, nung nabasa ko yung chart niya, sinunog niya ng buhay yung family niya. And then, nung nasa korte na, ang sabi niya, hindi daw niya pamilya yun kasi mga anak daw yun ng Diablo. So, yun. So, it's an exempting circumstance kasi na-diagnose na si patient is suffering from schizophrenia. Okay? Mitigating circumstance naman, ito, nababawasan kahit paano yung offense. Okay? So, kumbaga dito, nababawasan yung kaparusahan mo. So, sino-sino ba itong mga mitigating circumstance na to? Simple lang. So, best example are those na sumuko. No? Imbis na tumakas sila, sumuko na lang sila dun sa krimen nila. Okay? Those are mitigating. Aggravating circumstance naman, kabaligtaran siya ni mitigating. Kasi si mitigating, naliles yung offense niya, si aggravating naman, mas grabe. No? Kasi dito, mas nagiging severe yung magiging offense niya. No? So example, imbis na sumuko siya, tumakas na siya. Yun. So those are your aggravating circumstances. Mga nagtago. Yan. So aggravating circumstance yun. Okay, so always remember that you have to practice your profession in a reasonable and professional manner. And what's important is for you to document. So you document your actions kasi doon nakalagay kung ano yung mga ginawa natin sa patient, and that's our best defense for litigation. Okay, so yung mga PWD like blind or deaf or mute, saan po pwede maklasify once na-commit ng crime? Actually, it's mitigating, hindi siya exempting. Bakit? Kasi they are of sound mind. Unless, bulag na nga siya, bingi pa siya, napatunayan pa siya na merong sakit sa pag-iisip, that's the time they can be under exempting. Pero kapag napatunayan na nagawa yun, pero yun nga lang PWD siya, no? Pero of sound mind pa rin. Doon pa rin yan sa mitigating. Yon. Okay? I hope that answered the question. Meron pa bang question so far? Just go on. You may type your questions in our chat box. Say, we'll try to answer it after. Or pwede rin, during the middle of the discussion, we answer it. Okay? Sige. So, remember, you have to know your basics. So, sabi ko nga, di ba, paulit-ulit, sinasabi ko sa inyo, know the basic, yung mga fundamental principles ninyo. You have to upgrade your skills and competence, and you should know when to delegate. Alam niyo sa board exam, maraming questions about delegating. Okay? And when you delegate, tatandaan niyo palagi, ano ba yung scope of responsibility nung tao na pinapag-delegatean niyo? Or kung nag-delegate man kayo, dapat alam ng tao na papakisuyuan natin yung binigay natin na workload sa kanila. Okay? Dapat competent sila. So, you have to develop good interpersonal relationships with your coworkers as well. And at the same time, you consult your superior for problems that may be too big for you to handle. Okay? So, verify orders, lalo na ang mga doctor's order, ang mga sulat po ng doktor, napakagaganda. So, sobrang ganda, hindi na maintindihan. Ayan. So, pag magulo ang sulat ng doktor, always ask. Okay? Huwag kayong matatakot magtanong. Okay? So, keep in mind the values and necessity of keeping accurate and adequate records. So, as early as now, lagi niyong tatandaan, huwag niyong isi-shortcut ang inyong nurse's notes. Okay? Dapat naka-reflect dyan lahat kung ano yung ginawa niyo dun sa patient. Okay. Now, for us to be somehow maalis yung thought natin at yung practice natin dun sa pagpunta dun sa mga na-mention natin kanina na litigation, crime, tort, we should know our scope and the principles as well as the ethical values and principles that we practice in nursing. No? So let us first define these three. You have values, belief, and attitude. So si values, these are your freely chosen. Kumbaga, it influences your decision and action. And usually, it defines the worth of a certain person, an object, or idea, or action. Kaya nga, di ba sinasabi natin sa value, yan, ayokong itapon yan kasi may sentimental value yan. And we are the ones na nag-assign ng value na yun. Okay? Kasi it's freely chosen. You also have your belief. So, sa belief naman, It's based on your faith. And it may or may not be true. However, kapag belief yan, hindi nyo siya pa pwedeng kontrahin. For example, I believe in heaven. Okay? We'll never know kung totoo ba ang heaven o hindi. No? Pero that's my belief. Paniniwala kayo. And you cannot question that. You cannot contest that. Okay? Attitude naman, this is your mental position. And usually yung attitude, it is intentional kung paano nyo i-treat or ipakita yung certain attitude na yun. Kaya nga, di ba, minsan nasasabi na, ay, ayoko dyan, may attitude yan. Ay, uma-attitude ka na naman. O, di ba? So, may mga ganun. Kasi yung attitude, it's your position or yung pananaw mo towards a person. Now, when we talk about values, always remember that we have values transmission. So, this is how values is being transmitted to a certain group or to a certain person. So we have here personal and professional values. Personal values, this is learned through observation and experience, and usually this is influenced by a person's socio-cultural environment. So ano-ano ba yung mga personal values na yan? Yan yung mga tipong bata ka pa lang, yan na yung ini-instill sa inyo. Let's say sa family nyo, for example, a very important principle ng honesty. So habang pinapalaki ka ng magulang mo, talagang ini-instill na, oh, bawal kang magsinungaling kasi masama yun. Hanggang sa lumaki ka, na-adapt mo siya. Okay? Kasi that is through your observation and experience. So that is part of your personal value. Professional values naman, ito you acquire during socialization and it is based on the profession that you are practicing. So what's a typical example? Tayo mga nurses or kayo, as you go along, alam natin as part of our professional value is to dress up accordingly, na dapat neat and properly groomed tayong mga nurses. So that is part of our professional value. Okay? Now, let's define ethics and morals. No? So this is just a review, ha? So kasi sabi nga na nagtanong ako kanina, most of these topics are already discussed previously sa inyo. So yung ethics, this is actually from the Greek word ethos, which means moral duty. And usually yung ethics kasi, it understands the moral of life. Okay? Kumbaga dito sa ethics, dito tayo nag-base kung tama ba or mali yung gagawin natin ng isang bagay. While sa morals naman, usually, these are specific ways of behavior of accomplishing ethical practices. And usually, it's more on the human decency. No? Kumbaga, it's being proper versus dun sa improper. Okay? That's your moral. Kumbaga, yung moral kasi, that is how you react within the society. Okay? Yung ethics kasi, you make choices. Okay? And yung choices na yun, you weigh things. Kasi at times, dito sa ethics, pwedeng yung dalawang choices mo is not good, but you have to weigh them. Okay? That's part of ethics. Now, pagdating sa morality and ethics, usually, tandaan nyo ang morality, it's more of your faith and your belief. Okay? So, sa morality, it's what you believe to be good and it's what you believe to be bad na hindi natin gagawin. Wherein sa ethics kasi, you have to rationalize first. Iisipin mo pa, oh, naniniwala ako na masama, let's say, ang abortion. Okay? Pero yung patient ko, pag hindi terminate yung pregnancy niya, mamatay siya. Okay? Nagkakaroon tayo ng ethical dilemma and moral dilemma. And in ethics, doon natin siya i-apply kasi we have to reflect. Okay? Now, let's define bioethics. So, bioethics naman, it's a specific domain of ethics that focuses on moral issues in the field of healthcare. And here in the healthcare, ang dami nating ma-encounter na mga bioethical situations that can actually trigger or somehow context yung yung pinaka-paniniwala natin, yung mga beliefs natin, ano? Kasi at times, magsasabi, let's say, bawal ang euthanasia, no? Pero yung patient natin, let's say, ang tagal-tagal niya na sa ventilator. So how will you weigh that? Okay? So doon natin ipapasok yung bioethics. Okay? So we also have health ethics and professional ethics. So sa health ethics kasi, it's more of a branch of ethics that deals with the ethical issues of health, healthcare, medicine, and science. And usually dito sa health ethics, dito dinidiscuss yung mga concept of, let's say, abortion, concept of mga treatment like sa stem cell technology, ayan. So, dyan yun pumapasok kasi maraming mga concept na nasasagasaan pagdating din sa mga innovations na meron tayo ngayon. So, part yun ng health ethics. Well, sa professional ethics naman, this is the one na expected sa atin based on our profession. And usually, it is based on the principles that we have. Okay? So, katulad niyan, we have here the nursing ethics. So this is under professional ethics kasi this is related to the principles of right conduct as they apply to the profession. And usually sa nursing ethics, dito natin pinofocus yung needs ng patients natin and we view the patient as a whole. Okay, so that's part of nursing ethics, yung holism na meron si patient. So, this is the Nursing Code of Ethics. Although I will not discuss it one by one, kasi you just have to browse through it kung ano yung meron sa Nursing Code of Ethics natin. But if you will see it at mababasa niyo siya, ang pinaka-bottom line niya is the Nursing Code of Ethics is focused on holism. Ayan, ito yung mga keywords niyo. Holism, maintaining the dignity of the patient, advocate for health, and also promotion of health and disease prevention. Okay, again, sa Code of Ethics, ang pinaka-keywords niya dyan is holism kasi we treat the patient as a whole pagdating sa mismong actual scenario. We treat the patient as a whole, holistic or holistic yung approach. There is holism. We maintain the patient or the client's dignity. Okay? We also serve as advocates for healthcare. Okay? And also we promote health and prevent disease. Okay? So that is part of your Code of Ethics. Okay? So actually 9 yan. Pero summary niya yung sinabi ko sa inyong 5. Okay? So we have here the ethical thought. So you have also the prima facie duty. So yung prima facie duty, usually, ito yung makikita mo yung isang situation and based on that first impression, what will you do? What is your duty? For example, ikaw na nurse, nag-rounds ka sa patient room, tapos nakita mo yung pasyente mo namumutla na halos hingal na nag-gasping for air. And based on that impression, naisip mo, naku, kailangan intubate ni patient. Okay? That's part of your prima facie duty. Kasi that is based on your first impression. Okay? And usually, kapag sa prima facie duty, it is binding and it is obligatory wherein lahat ng nakikita niya equal. Na whatever kung ano man yung status ni patient mo, yun ang first impression mo eh. So yun yung gagawin mo. Yung i-execute mo na implementation or responsibility is based on that prima facie duty, not based dun sa first impression mo. And then afterwards, syempre, ma-override yun ng additional duty based dun sa situation na meron na. Okay? So, we have here the 7 prima facie duties. So, ito sa 7 prima facie duties na to, ito daw yung magiging reference natin and at the same time, guidelines natin kung ano ba yung gagawin natin on first impression. Kumbaga, ito yung mga principles that we should take note of kapag tayo ay caught in a certain situation wherein we have to do our duty. So first, you have the duty of fidelity. So pag sinabi natin duty of fidelity, well, it's simple as promise keeping. Kumbaga, you are committed to your promise. Okay? There is commitment and ito yung mga tipong kapag sinabi mo sa patient na, ma'am, babalikan ko po kayo after 30 minutes. Babalikan niyo siya after 30 minutes. Mamaya tapos na yung shift niyo, hindi siya binalikan. So, where is the duty of fidelity? So, yung duty of fidelity, it's promise keeping. Okay? Now, duty of reparation. Ako, ito. Mukhang may mga makaka-relate dito. You have to be responsible in making amends with the people you hurt in the past. No? So, kung kayo, naka-hurt kayo ng tao before, like, may ginost kayo na jowa nyo, or baka hindi nyo jowa, let's say, meron lang kayong mutual understanding, tas ginost niyo siya, well, it's the time to perform your duty of reparation wherein you have to make amends with the people you hurt in the past. Okay, it's time. Di ba? So, yan, kung kayo ay may na-hurt, it's time to say sorry. You have to explain bakit niyo siya ginost, bakit niyo siya iniwan, ba't kayo nag-cheat? May mga ganun no? Anyway, well, the duty of reparation is you have to make amends with the people you hurt in the past. Okay? So, you also have your duty of gratitude. So ito naman, you are being thankful. So you are thankful for your blessings, and you are thankful for the good things that is happening to you. So that is part of the duty of gratitude. Duty of justice naman, ito yung sinasabi natin that we treat everyone equally, regardless of gender and sexual orientation, regardless of beliefs, regardless of religion, regardless of financial status and social standing. Very, very common yan sa mga hospital, ano? Na kapag mayaman, nauuna, no? So, wag ganun. Dapat meron tayong duty of justice that we perform yung mismong care and comfort natin sa patient equally. Okay? The duty of self-improvement. So, you act as to promote one's own good. Kumbaga, you improve yourself. For example, you undergo trainings, you undergo seminars and workshops kasi you want to improve yourself. So, that is your duty of self-improvement. Duty of beneficence, you are doing good. Okay? So, good should be done for the benefit of others. Hindi na para sa sarili nyo, but also for other people. You do good. So, duty of non-maleficence naman, ito wag kayong masyadong malito, ha? Ang duty of beneficence, pag nakita niyo yung beneficence, it means that you do good. Okay? Duty of non-maleficence, pag nakita niyo siya, tandaan niyo palagi, do no harm. Okay? Beneficence, do good. Non-maleficence, do no harm. Okay? So, di ba, the first principle that we require in order for you to practice the profession efficiently is to do no harm. So, that is part of the duty of non-maleficence. So, how is that happening? So, sa duty of beneficence is this. For example, you are doing health teachings to your clients. Okay? And let's say your patient is hypertensive. So, hypertensive patient, sinasabihan mo siya to be responsible sa pag-take ng mga medications niya kasi it's part of doing good. Okay? You only want good for your patient. Non-maleficence naman is this. For example, si patient, an elderly patient, na nahihirapan, let's say may Parkinson's yung patient na yon. So, hindi siya makapag-balanse ng maayos. So, muntik na madulas si patient. So, ang ginawa mo, para hindi mabubok yung ulo ni patient, hinawakan mo siyang mabuti to the point na halos nagpasa yung braso ni patient. Okay? Is there a harm? Well, you did not intend to do harm. Okay? So, kahit na let's say napasaan mo si patient, but your intention is to do no harm. Okay? So, that is the duty of non-maleficence. Okay? Now, this is our primary role. We have to be nurse advocates. So, sa nurse advocate or yung advocacy natin is we plead the cause of another. Kumbaga, we preserve yung human dignity ni patient. And also, we ensure that the patient has the right to make his own decision. Kasi meron silang autonomy. Pag sinabi natin autonomy, take note of the word independence. Kumbaga, sa autonomy, meron silang independence and freedom to do what is right for them and to think and to somehow consent the healthcare worker to do yung procedure na naaayon. So, as nurse advocates, we have the responsibility to inform and support our patients. So, you inform the patient about their rights and at the same time, you support them in decision making. So, the nurse advocates, we express and defend the cause of another. And at the same time, there is the implementation of the Bill of Rights. So again, sa Bill of Rights, board exam questions, hindi nagpapa-enumerate ha sa board exam. It's situational. But usually, ang situation na tinatanong doon, merong mga question related to the patient Bill of Rights. So you have to be familiar with the patient Bill of Rights. So kasama dyan yung pag-receive nila ng considerate and respectful care kasi sabi nga natin, there is justice. Okay? The right to treatment. Okay? And also the right to make decisions, yung informed consent, yung advance directive, the privacy, confidentiality, and safety, and also yung review ng records. And speaking of records, tandaan nyo to. Halimbawa, merong patient na nagsabi, nurse, hiramin ko yung patient chart ko kasi naintindihan ko naman yung laman yan kasi nurse din ako. Okay? Tandaan ninyo na ang chart, pag-aari yan ng hospital. Okay? So, in short, hindi yan po pwede na kung saan-saan nakakarating. Kung sino-sino ang may access, hindi pwede. Kasi remember, advocates ng patients, we protect our patients as well. So, kapag meron ng hiram ng patient chart, hindi mo siya pwedeng ipahiram. Okay? Kahit na yan ay nurse or doktor or kung saan man. Kasi, tandaan ninyo, the chart is owned by the hospital. It's just that the contents of the chart is about the patient. Okay? So, malinaw tayo dun ha. Wala po magpapahiram ng chart. Okay? Meron din mga board exam question pertaining to that na kapag merong nagtanong kung ipapahiram ang chart. So, hindi pa pwede. Okay? So, what are the responsibilities of nurses? So, meron tayong responsibility to the physician. Of course, we have to inform the physician and collaborate with the physicians. Our responsibilities to our colleagues, syempre yung pag-establish natin ng good working relationship and yung maintenance natin ng professionalism. And also to ourselves, di ba, meron tayong duty of self-improvement. Now, we have some ethical principles and considerations to take note of. So, una-una na dyan yung golden rule natin. So, do unto others what you would like others to do unto you. So, it's very basic, ano? So, alam natin yan na kapag gusto natin ng kabutihan, syempre, gumawa din tayo ng kabutihan. So, that's the golden rule. The twofold effect naman, this is very common and very useful na magagamit natin when you are in the hospital setting. Kasi the twofold effect, it could be, there are two things that you are weighing. It could be that the other one is something good and the other one is something good as well, pero mas maganda yung effect. Or, mas i-opposite natin. Pareha silang merong bad effect. Okay? Pero you have to weigh things. Alin doon yung pipiliin mo? Ang other term na sinasabi nila, in twofold effect daw, is you choose the lesser evil. Okay? True enough. Bakit? Kasi dapat yung twofold effect na pipiliin mo when you do this or when you take note of this principle is dapat yung action somehow morally good siya. Kumbaga acceptable siya. Okay? And there is a good effect. Okay? And yung bad effect, kung meron man, somehow allowed siya at tolerable. Okay? The good effect must not come from an evil action. Okay? And at the same time, mas malaki yung good effect versus dun sa bad effect. Okay? Next, the principle of totality. This applies to the holism ng patients natin kasi the whole is greater than any of its parts. Okay? Epicure naman, this is exception to the general rule. Example, meron kayong patient na psych patient. Now, nagwala yung psych patient. Na ang nangyari, nagwawala na siya, naghahagis na siya ng mga gamit dun sa ospital na halos iuuntog niya na yung sarili niya sa pader. Walang nakalagay na order na restrain. Pero pwede nating i-restrain si patient. Bakit? By virtue of epicure. Kasi it is exempted to the general rule. Masasaktan na yung pasyente Okay? One who acts through an agent is himself responsible. So kapag tayo, sinasabi natin, kapag tayo ay nag-delegate, dapat alam ng pag-delegate natin. Okay? So, no one is obliged to betray him or herself. So, this applies kapag kayo ay wag naman din sana or there are healthcare workers na nakakasuhan. Hindi pa pwede na pilitin na magsabi yung healthcare worker na kung ano yung nalaman niya, kung ano yung mga kasalanan niya. So, hindi pa pwede yun kasi it's a form of betrayal. The end does not justify the means. So, ibig sabihin, kung halimbawa, yung isang pasyente, siya ay let's say, naka-DNR status na siya. Okay? We have no right to tell that it's the end. Okay? Kasi wala tayong karapatan at all. Okay? Kasi it's the choice or it should go on naturally. And meron ding choices yung mga family members no patient na yun. Defects of nature may be corrected. Example, yung mga patients na merong cleft palate. Okay? Yung mga cleft lip. Diba? So, yung mga ganun, so pwede siyang i-correct, okay? And it's not a sin. If one is willing to operate the act, no injustice is done to him or her. Kumbaga, kapag ikaw nag-cooperate ka sa isang krimen, well, na-discuss na natin kanina, you will still be held liable. A little more or less does not change the substance of an act. So kahit gaano pa kakonti or kaliit yung participation mo sa isang act, basta yan ay mali, it is still wrong. Okay? The greatest good for the greatest number. So, this applies, let's say, for example, you are doing vaccination. Okay? Lalo na nung COVID. Diba? We don't know the effects of the vaccine, pero we do that for the greatest number. Okay? No one is held to the impossible. So, kung halimbawa, as mentioned ko nga kanina, yan ay meron siya, let's say, congestive heart failure at sinasabi na hindi yan siya gagaling. So, wala tayong karapatan na sabihin na, oh, hindi yan gagaling, mamamatay na yan. Diba? So, wala, kasi it's impossible. Okay? The morality of cooperation, one who cooperates with an act is still liable. And principle relating to the origin and destruction of life, ang sabi daw kasi sa ethics is we preserve human life and human dignity. Okay? So we also have the Good Samaritan Act. Actually, this Good Samaritan Act is parang ilang beses ko sunod-sunod na natanong sa board exam, wherein it's a situation that applies dun sa Good Samaritan Act itself. However, wala pa to dito sa Pilipinas pero common siya na board exam question. Bakit? Ang usual na question dyan is this. Paano daw kung halimbawa, merong biglang hinimatay, let's say na tao, let's say babae, biglang hinimatay, tapos ikaw ay nurse, no? Tutulungan mo siya. Kaya lang namatay yung babae. Okay? And hindi ka magiging liable doon. Bakit? Kasi you are trained. Okay? You are a first aid provider. And at the same time, kung ikaw nagbigay ka ng first aid treatment at scene and ginawa mo yon within the standard of care, you are relieved with the consequences through the Good Samaritan Act. Okay? In good faith kasi yon ginawa. So the Code of Good Governance, ito naman, it's promulgated by the PRC. And dito, simple lang yung sinasabi dyan. Dito nakalagay yung mga principles natin pagdating sa pagiging isang professional. Okay? So you have here itong mga service to others. Kumbaga yung profession, whatever your profession is, dapat you render service to others. And you should be doing it with integrity and objectivity. Professional competence, dapat competent ka din sa profession mo. Solidarity and teamwork, may collaboration. And you are responsible socially. And global competitiveness and equality of all professions. So, whatever your profession is, sabi nga nila, lahat tayo may license kung nagkataon. And it should be equal. Okay? So, what are the critical values and ethical virtues and principles na ginagamit natin in the hospital and at the same time in the nursing profession wherever you are? Okay? And at the same time, lahat po ito ay tinatanong sa board exam. Usually, tinatanong doon, magbibigay ng situation, and then what ethical value or principle is violated? What ethical principle is practiced? May mga ganun. So, tandaan nyo itong mga to, fidelity, na-discuss natin kanina, no? You keep your promise. Honesty or veracity, you are being truthful. Maganda nagsasabi ka ng totoo. Okay? It differs from integrity. Kasi integrity, you do something right or you do the thing right even when no one is watching. Humility naman, you are being humble. Okay? You are accepting the reality of the truth. Kumbaga, you are being open-minded regarding, let's say, criticisms. So, nandun yung sa humility. Respect, you are being considerate and culturally sensitive to one's belief or values. Compassion, there is a deep, sincere, and concern to others. Prudence, you are utilizing the best resources to give to our patient. And courage, you have the strong will to do assigned tasks. Okay? Now, I have here a scenario. So, dito, you have Nurse Wednesday, wherein she worked part-time in a small suburban hospital. And because she was familiar with the hospital's routine and the staff, she was often asked by the nursing supervisor to work in patient care areas wherein merong shortage in a particular shift. So, one day, or nagsabi sila na mag-work siya sa recovery room. Within an hour, the nursing supervisor called and asked her to report doon sa suite rooms wherein merong elective abortion na pine-perform. However, si Wednesday, nagsabi siya na against siya sa abortion kasi she is a Catholic and she considered abortion to be killing of a human life and a mortal sin. And nag-request siya na kung pwede, huwag siya ang i-assign. Okay? So, this is what happened. So, nag-try sila na maghanap ng ibang nurse. However, yung doktor dun sa A4 suite, kailangan ng i-prep yung patient. So, si Wednesday, siya yung sinabihan na kung pwede i-prep at least yung patient ni doktor. So, Wednesday is very reluctant. However, nag-agree siya as long as the supervisor will send another nurse to replace her. And the supervisor agreed. So, doon sa A4, nung pine-prepare niya yung gamit, so she saw a 16-year-old unmarried teenager who is approximately 8 weeks pregnant. And then, nung natapos na siyang i-prep, sinabi niya ngayon yun sa doktor, and she will not participate in the proceedings. And then, nagalit ngayon yung doktor. And ang sabi ngayon ng doktor is, do you think I have all day to wait while the nursing staff puts its moralisms and emotions in order? Ayan. So, dyan na nagsimula yung kanilang dilemma. And si Wednesday, naipit din siya dun sa situation. So, when Wednesday stated na meron siyang beliefs regarding abortion, is yung doktor kinontra siya. Okay? And they said that there is nothing morally wrong sa pag-perform ng abortion in pregnancy. So, si Wednesday, pinanindigan niya talaga na i-decline niya yung duty niya doon. And yung doktor, nagalit siya totally, claiming that it was a sad day for patients when nurses decided they would not provide needed care. Okay, so dito sa scenario na to, obviously there is an ethical dilemma. Okay, so always remember, balikan nyo yung scenario and at the same time, balikan nyo yung principles natin ng beneficence and non-maleficence. Okay, wherein sa beneficence, you do something good, you promote kindness, and you promote the health of your patient. Sa non-maleficence naman, you do no harm. You do not participate in treatments or procedures that will harm the patient. Okay? So, mahirap man, but in the previous scenario or situation, you are being, pinapagitnaan mo kasi between something good dun para sa pasyente or para sa'yo, mali siya. So, where will you stand? Okay, dyan papasok yung mga ethical principles natin. That is why itong mga principles na to are very important. Okay? Now, I have here another one. So, we have here si Nurse Tuesday naman. So, she works at the day surgery clinic run by 3 surgeons. And then, one of the surgeons, si Dr. Mooney, is a known homosexual and recently nagkasakit siya. Nagkaroon siya ng pneumonia and weakness and fatigue. And then, nung kinamusta niya, ni Tuesday, si doktor, sabi niya, HIV positive pala siya for more than or about 10 years. And alam naman yung mga colleagues niya. Now, meron na siyang AIDS, hindi lang HIV. And he plans to work for as long that he can, and tsaka siya magkakaroon ng vacation. So, he does not think it is necessary for any of the patients to know about his AIDS status. Okay? He's careful about the procedure, and at the same time, nagsabi siya kay Nurse Tuesday na kung pwede, huwag na rin i-disclose yung mga yung katayuan niya, and at the same time, huwag magbago yung treatment sa kanya. So, si Nurse Tuesday is very much concerned. Okay? Pero, sabi niya nga, she thinks that it is not right for patients to undergo procedures knowing na yung HIV positive, yung surgeon nila is HIV positive. Okay, so don't patients' right not to be infected with HIV override a surgeon's right to privacy regarding his personal status? Now, it may be difficult to answer. It's a difficult situation, but the thing is, we cannot disclose an information to another person. Okay, because there is a confidentiality of information, and privileged communication is given because of trust. Okay? Any information na masagap natin sa ospital, tandaan natin na yan ay confidential and private. I know na tayo daw mga nurses ang pinakamarites sa mga hospital. Totoo yun. Okay? Totoo po yun. So, yung mga tipong i-admit pa lang si patient, alam na kung sino yung pasyente na to. Lalo na kung high profile yung patient. Let's say, artista yung pasyente. Very common yan sa mga private institution. Alam na let's say, si James Reid nandyan sa ER. Alam na yun hanggang doon sa ward. Diba? Kakapasok pa lang, alam na agad. So, ganun ka din. Pero the thing is, we should make those information confidential and private. So, it is only during the following situations, itong apat na to, na i-reveal natin yung mga confidential information na to. Okay? First, kapag yung patient mismo inallow na i-disclose yung information tungkol sa kanya. Second, kung yan ay medico-legal. Third, kung yan ay communicable disease. Kasi meron tayong batas, yung RA 11332, which requires the reporting of communicable disease sa ating Department of Health. And also, kapag yung mga nagtatanong na information is yung relevant members of the healthcare team. Yun lang ang mga pwedeng, kung kailan natin pwedeng ibigay yung information. Now, yung information na yun, it may also be revealed as provided for the following. The privacy of communication and correspondence shall be inviolable except upon lawful order. So kung halimbawa meron na yung subpoena, okay, meron ng hinahanap na yan ng korte at nire-require na as piece of evidence, we have the right or meron tayong kayanan at dapat i-disclose natin yung information. That's it. Pero kung wala, hindi pwede. Okay? Now, what are the responsibilities of our patient? Siyempre, information. So, information to about his or her condition. Okay, yung level of understanding niya. Dapat communicate niya yun. Ang mga patients natin are expected as well to comply with instructions. And also inform the physician kung siya ay mag-refuse ng treatment. And ito, very, very difficult to pay hospital charges. Ayan, so kapag nasa private hospital, yung mga pasyente, kapag yan, wala ng pera, ang nangyayari, hirap nang maningil. Di ba? Mahirap na magbayad ng hospital charge. But it is part of their responsibility. It is also part of their responsibility to follow hospital rules and regulation and show respect and consideration, lalo na sa mga healthcare workers. So we have here consent. So consent is very important kasi this is a rational act. Kumbaga, yung consent, hindi yan dapat pinipilit. Okay? And meron lang tayong certain instances kung kailan pa pwede tayong magbigay ng informed consent. Okay, later on, we will discuss that. But yung consent natin, it should be of free will. It should be done with autonomy and independence. So the nature of consent is through by a person or a person authorized by law to give the consent of a patient's behalf. So sino-sino ba tong mga to? Kung halimbawa yung patient hindi makapirma ng consent, siya ay adult patient, deep coma, ang pipirma ng consent niya is yung spouse or yung asawa. Kung wala siyang asawa, yung magulang. Okay? Ay, sorry. Kung wala siyang asawa, yung anak muna, rather, anak. And then, wala yung anak, walang asawa, magulang. Okay? Pag wala yung magulang, that's the time papasok yung mga ibang immediate family members. Paano kung bata? Pedya, kumbaga minor, no? So, mga minor de edad, mga pedya, parents po ang pumipirma ng consent dyan. Okay? Informed consent, established principle of law that every human being of adult years and sound mind has the right to determine what shall be done with his or her own body. So ano-ano ba yung mga elements na to? Tandaan nyo itong mga elements na to kasi lagi itong lumalabas sa board exam. Hindi po nawawala ang consent sa board exam. Ano? So, dapat yung diagnosis and explanation of the condition is given dun sa patient, and also yung mga consequences and complications, alternative treatments kung meron, description of the benefits, and prognosis. So dapat lahat yan nakalagay dun sa consent natin. Now, who must consent? So merong question dito, paano daw po pag walang asawa tapos yung anak minor pa? So I will answer it now. So dito, sino-sino nga ba yung mga merong consent? Siyempre, yung patient is the one who gives the consent in his or her own behalf. Ano-ano yung mga consideration? Si patient, pwedeng ang pumirma is yung kanyang asawa or relative or yung immediate relative, no? Kapag yan ay incompetent. So, sino ba yung mga incompetent? Mga menor de edad and yung mga mentally ill. Tandaan nyo, dito sa Pilipinas, pag sinabing minor, yan yung 17 years old and below. Okay? 17 years and 364 days old. In short, hanggat hindi pa yan 18 years old, minor de edad yan. Okay? Mentally ill, sila yung may mga sakit sa pag-iisip. Physically unable but not an emergency case. Sino-sino ba yung mga physically unable? For example, wala siyang extremities. Okay? Hindi siya makapirma. Okay? So, physically unable. And talagang ang sinasabi niya, ang pipirma sa kanya is, let's say, yung asawa. Okay? That is possible. Consent for minors shall be taken from the parents. Okay? Unless yung parental consent is not needed if the minor is already married or otherwise emancipated. Okay? In short, the answer to this question, paano daw po pag walang asawa, tapos yung anak minor pa? Sorry, pag walang asawa tapos yung anak minor pa, then the parents. Okay? Kasi minor pa rin yan. Okay? Walang asawa tapos yung anak minor pa, it's the parents. It differs kung halimbawa, si minor, let's say 17 years old. Okay? May asawa na. Okay? That's the time, hindi na kailangan ng parental consent. Okay? So, emancipated minor naman is this. Halimbawa, si patient is 17 years old. Ngayon, mamayang alas 12, 18 years old na siya. Okay? Pero may procedure siya ngayong alas 10 ng gabi. Pwede na siyang pumirma kasi emancipated minor. Okay? So, consent for mentally ill shall be taken from the parents or legal guardian. Okay. I hope that answered the question, ano? So, during emergency situation naman, no consent is necessary because inaction at such time may cause greater injury. So, dito papasok yung ating implied consent. Sa implied consent, for example, si patient dumating sa ER, tapos, ano siya, let's say, nabaril. Okay? Tapos, wala pa yung asawa. Hindi magising si patient eh. So, wala yung asawa. Ang nandyan, yung kaibigan lang. Diba? Si kaibigan lang. Hindi pwedeng kaibigan, dapat asawa. Pero, pwede na yun na gawin natin yung procedure kasi it's an emergency situation. Life and death, kumbaga. Okay? That's what you call an implied consent. Okay? Now, paano po kapag nag-refuse sa consent si patient? So, kapag siya legally competent naman, he has the right to refuse the consent or the right to refuse the certain procedure. What's important is, kailangan i-explain pa rin dun sa patient ano yung mangyayari kapag hindi ginawa yung procedure na yun at hindi siya nag-consent. And then after that, the patient should sign a waiver form that releases the hospital and the healthcare workers from any liability. Okay? Now, ito tatandaan nyo, kapag mag-asawa yan, at halimbawa yung asawang babae gusto nang what you call that, magpatali. So yun, magpatanggal na ng, or kumbaga mag-stop na from reproducing. Yun. So, meron yung consent for, yun nga yan nasa tubal ligation. Thank you very much. So, magpatali tayo yung term, no? So, yun, that's it. Magpatali, yun din naman yun. Tubal ligation. So, tubal ligation, tandaan nyo, hindi lang yung babae dapat ang pipirma. Dapat mag-asawa sila. Okay? Kasi it means sterilization wherein you terminate the ability to produce offsprings. Okay? So the husband and wife must consent the procedure if the operation is primarily to accomplish sterilization. Pero, hindi naman na rin kailangan yung asawa. Okay? Kung halimbawa, it's an incidental result of cases like abruptio placenta, ectopic pregnancy, ruptured uterus, and the patient's consent alone is sufficient. Okay? Kumbaga yung mga ano na yan, mga emergency procedures na hindi sinasadya kung bakit kailangan ng tubal ligation. Okay? But all in all, kung yan ay for sterilization, kahit vasectomy ha, kailangan mag-asawa silang pipirma. Okay? Now, this is your consent, ano? So, tandaan nyo po itong mabuti. This is most likely the content of your consent form, no? Although, iba-iba naman yan sa mga institution, syempre. Pero, yung pinakalaman niya is still itong mga to. So, you have here the demographics of your patient. Ayan, yung name ni patient, last name, first name, and middle name. Kasama dyan yung kanyang age, sex, civil status, ayan. The doctor's full name. Sino ba yung gagawa ng procedure? Okay? And then the procedure that will be done. And then the agreement clause. Kumbaga nakalagay dito yung mga complications, yung mga pwedeng benefits na releases the hospital's liability. The patient signature is here. The witness, pwede po tayo mag-witness ha. Witness lang ha. Hindi po tayo yung nagpapapirma ng consent. Bakit? Ang magpapapirma po ng consent ay yung tao na gagawa na procedure. It means it's the doctor. Okay? Hindi po tayo. Okay? And kung yan ay minor, dito siya sa baba, pipirma. Okay? Always indicate the date and time kapag yan ay magko-consent. Okay? Now, here's the common board exam question. Hanggang kailan valid ang consent? Sige nga. Type your answer in the chat box. So, hanggang kailan valid ang consent? Sige, halimbawa, nag-consent sila. Okay, yeah, that's correct. So, meron na answer dito. Sabi ni Mr. Senyorin, it's 24 hours. Yes, that's correct. Ganon din sa mga DNR, mga do not resuscitate, do not intubate, 24 hours lang yan. Dapat yan nire-renew. Okay, kaya important yung date and time. Okay? Now, we always remember that yung ethical principles natin is it's very systematic and at the same time, it guides us in our practice. Okay? Ganun din yung nursing law natin. That is why it's very important na maalala natin siya at lagi nating isipin kung ano-ano yung mga batas na incline sa atin. Kasi it's our scope of practice. Okay? So, tandaan nyo ha, huwag matakot magtanong. Okay? Always ask questions. Kasi sabi nga dyan, he who asks a question remains a fool for 5 minutes. Kasi malaman niya yung sagot eh. Pero kung hindi siya nagtanong, he is a fool forever. Okay? Now, let's have an icebreaker. Ayan, yung icebreaker ulit. Okay. So, ano bang gagawin natin dito sa icebreaker na to? I think I have here a series of questions. Wait, let me just check. Oh, yeah, tama. Okay, so I have here a series of questions. So all you have to do is, hindi mo na tayo magme-mentimeter. Mamaya tayo mag-mentimeter. Ano lang muna tayo? Simple icebreaker lang naman. What you need to do is, there are a series of questions here. So all you have to do is read through it, browse through it, and then type your answer in our chat box. Okay? Okay, sige, let's start. So I hope you're ready. So first question. Okay, so we have here Nurse Ara working in a level 3 tertiary hospital in Bulacan for 3 years. She is assigned in the emergency room, and during the latest memorandum released by the nursing services, she will be transferred in the ICU by next month. She decided to take courses and webinars related to critical care nursing and intensive care management. Nurse Ara is exhibiting which of the following? So this is an example of a board exam question. Letter A, duty of gratitude. Letter B, duty of preparation. Letter C, duty of self-improvement. Or letter D, duty of fidelity. Okay, so ang bibilis magsagot. Ayan, so, okay. Ayan, so most of you answered. Nakikita ko yung sagot nyo kasi naka-direct message sa akin eh. Okay, sige, that's correct. Most of you answered letter C, and that is the correct answer. So, it's the duty of self-improvement. Bakit? Kasi sabi nga natin, you have to improve your skills. You have to upgrade your knowledge and your competence. And again, duty of gratitude, you're being thankful. Diba? Duty of preparation, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, mag-sorry na kayo kung kayo ay may nagawang kasalanan, you make amends. Duty of fidelity, you keep your promises. Okay, next. During her coffee break, Nurse Lana overheard a group of residents passing by that a celebrity patient with syphilis is admitted at the hospital last night. Having heard this, Nurse Lana went to her friend Nurse Kit, who was an avid fan of the celebrity. What ethical principle was violated in this situation? A. Autonomy, B. Confidentiality, C. Privacy, or letter D. Fidelity. Okay, sige, what's the answer? Ayan, so you answered letter B, but there are answers of letter C, privacy. Okay, but most of you answered letter B. Okay, the correct answer is, yes, you're correct, that is confidentiality. Huwag kayong malito kapag nandiyan yung choice ng confidentiality and privacy. Tandaan ninyo, kapag tungkol yan sa information ni patient, tandaan nyo, it's all about confidentiality. Kapag tungkol naman yan doon sa mismong katauhan ni patient, yung tipong pagtago kay patient, let's say, sa, yun nga, pagkatok sa kwarto ni patient, that's privacy. Okay? Kapag yung mismong space na ni patient, that is privacy. But if it's about the information of the patient, it's about confidentiality. Okay? Sige, next. Nurse Aaron is one of the vaccinators in the COVID-19 Pinas Lakas campaign. One mother hesitated since she verbalized that it would hurt her 5-year-old son. As a well-versed nurse about ethical considerations, Nurse Aaron explained to the mother that it might cause discomfort, but it will protect her son from acquiring the infection. What duty and principle did Nurse Aaron utilize? A. Golden rule, B. Epicya, C. Beneficence, or D. Maleficence. Okay, ayan. Sige, I see answers. Let me just check. Okay. Letter C. Letter C, letter C, letter C. Okay. So, most of you answered letter C. And that is beneficence. So, letter C ang sagot. The answer is letter D, non-maleficence. Hindi yan beneficence. Bakit? You have to read the question. Okay? Ulitin natin. Yung isang nanay nag-hesitate siya kasi ang sabi, meron siyang discomfort. Yung anak daw niya ng 5 years old, merong discomfort na mararamdaman. So, ibig sabihin, there is a certain, let's say, pain na may inflict natin kay patient or discomfort, which is not good. Okay? However, do you intend to do that yung discomfort na yun? No, because your intention is to do no harm, which is to vaccinate the 5-year-old kasi it will protect the patient from acquiring infection. Okay? So, wag kayong malilito. Tandaan nyo, beneficence is doing good. And yung non-maleficence, you do no harm. Even if merong mangyari, merong isang situation na magkakaroon ng effective patient, but the product of that situation is not about doing something harm. That is non-maleficence. Okay? Sige. Now, let's go to the next part. Itong leadership and management, bilis na lang naman to. So, pahapyawan lang natin siya. Okay? Sige. So, ang sabi dyan, when you talk about leadership and management, so management is efficiency in climbing the ladder of success, while leadership determines whether the ladder is leaning against. the right one. Lagi yung magka-partner. Tandaan nyo yung leadership and management. Although, kung tatanungin kayo, what do you want? Do you want to be a leader or a manager? Okay? Kasi doon nagkakaroon ng difference, no? Kung paano yun siya i-take yung context na yun. But also remember, no executive has ever suffered because his subordinates were strong and effective. Okay? Kasi lahat yan may challenges. But at the end of the day, it's always about yung collaboration and yung pag-manage mo dun sa team mo or pag-lead mo sa team mo. So, as managers and leaders, nandiyan yung pag-lead natin, yung responsibility, yung power, yung vision natin, and yung goals natin. No? So, lahat yun natatouch natin dito sa leadership and management. So, actually, yung term na leader, it has been used even before. Ano? And marami silang mga naging definition. However, ang sabi rin ng mga philosophers natin, there is no single definition enough to encompass the total leadership process. Kasi daw napakalaki nung sakop ng leadership. And walang specific na researcher or theories na nagsasabi na, oh, ito yung tamang definition ng leadership or ito yung isa. Hindi sila magkasundo kasi nga ang laki ng sakop niya. And it varies on different situation. Now, leadership roles, marami yan. So, kasama na dyan yung mga decision making, yung ating pagiging communicator, risk taker. Yung leader, yung pagiging leader is a very, very broad yung role natin. But all in all, lahat ng to is part of the role of being a leader. So, let's review the basic or the common theories related to leadership. And I think you have heard this also, yung Greatman theory, wherein ang sabi nila, leaders are born. Okay? Yung sinasabi nila, it's a Greatman theory. Leaders are born. Diba? So, kumbaga sabi dyan, people are born to lead, whereas others are born to lead. Okay? However, meron din naman nagsabi before na yung great leaders, nakikita yan or lumalabas yan, depende dun sa situation kung nasaan sila. Okay? Trait theories naman, usually, this assumes a certain characteristic or personality traits na that makes a person a better leader than others. Kasi nga sabi dyan, it's not being or it's not bringing a person or a leader into this world. Kung ginagawa daw ang pagiging leader. Not until nagkaroon ng behavioral theories wherein dito, mas na-define na nila kung ano ba yung leadership itself. That is why nagkaroon tayo ng authoritarian or yung autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire leadership. Later on, we will discuss this further. So, we also have situational and contingency leadership theories wherein dito, the leaders move dynamically along the continuum in response to each situation. Kumbaga, it depends on variables. It depends on the organizational culture. It depends on the influence of his or her followers or yung mga subordinates niya. It depends kung paano siya mag-lead ng isang organization dun sa situation na binigay sa kanya. So, interactional leadership theories naman, it is determined by the relationship between the leader's personality and specific situation. So, kung re-reviewin natin siya, babalikan natin, yung leadership, it arises depending on the situation itself. Okay? So, let's now define or let's now discuss yung types of leadership. So, sabi natin we have the authoritative or the autocratic. So, dito, tandaan nyo, sa autocratic, si leader lang ang magde-decide. Pag may sinuggest siya, or may sinuggest ang subordinates, wala siyang pakialam. That is autocratic leadership. So, sino-sino yung mga leader na yan? Example, yung leader ng North Korea, si Kim Jong-un ba yun? So, yung president ng North Korea. So, autocratic leadership kasi siya lang nasusunod. He doesn't care of his subordinates. Okay? So, what are the strengths of autocratic leadership pagdating sa nursing? Autocratic nurse leaders work well in emergency situation. Kasi dito, kapag emergency, kapag right yung decision making mo, you can enforce a certain policy or procedure na mas strict siya. Okay? Yung weakness naman niya, negative kasi yung reinforcement. Kumaga wala kasing boses yung mga kasama mo, yung mga subordinates mo. That is why walang nade-develop na teamwork, mahirap i-develop yung open communication. Sa democratic naman, ito, two-way process na siya. Kasi this one, it encourages feedback, hindi lang from the leader, but also dun sa environment and dun sa subordinates. So, dito mas ini-encourage yung team success and yung professional and personal growth. So what are the strengths? So usually it works well kapag nag-improve tayo ng mga processes natin. Kasi kumbaga nagbe-brainstorm kayo eh. Meron suggestions si subordinates, meron suggestions si leader. So it's taken into consideration. Ang weakness naman niya, kapag rapid yung response, hindi mo siya ma-execute agad-agad. Kasi yung mga leaders na democratic, they find it difficult to make quick independent decision kasi they are very much concerned in making the decision-making authority na mas careful sila kasi nga pinapakinggan din nila yung subordinates nila. Okay? So sa laissez-faire naman, ito hands-off, kumbaga minimum amount of supervision siya. Maganda rin siya somehow kasi it promotes creativity. Yun nga lang, sa dami ng suggestion, wala tayong mismong direction kung saan papunta yung plans natin. So usually, ang strength nito kapag sa nursing is, yung mga nursing team ang pwedeng mag-thrive dito, pero hindi siya applicable sa mga newly graduate or mga novice nurses natin. Kasi what you need in a laissez-faire leadership is, kailangan yung mga nurses is, they can work independently with less or minimal supervision. And ang weakness niya, it encourages employees to set their own, kumbaga, kanya-kanya kasi yung laissez-faire. So wala nagli-lead and they don't care with others, kumbaga. Okay? So sa transformational naman, ito, they are very visionary. Kumbaga, yung mga transformational nurse, they are very much inclined in improving quality care. Yan. They want to transform. Yan. Kumbaga, from looking bad, they want to transform into looking good. Kumbaga, from the rain, they want to have a rainbow. Yun yung transformational leadership. Kasi it works well with new nurses. Kasi nagsisimula pa lang. Kumbaga, hinuhubog mo yung isang nurse na gumawa or maging from novice, maging advanced beginner up to being competent. That's being transformational. Yun nga lang, ang weakness niya, there is there is less effective facilities wherein the leader is responsible for day-to-day decision making. Bakit? Kasi not all the time, nandoon yung magta-transform na leader. Okay? Kasi there is high employee satisfaction and retention. Ang nangyayari, matagal yung magiging improvement process pagdating sa transformational leadership. Okay? Next, transactional leadership naman is a reward and punish system. Ito yung kabaligtaran ni transformational. Kasi si transformational, visionary, di ba? Si transactional naman, it focuses on supervision, organization, and performance. Kumbaga, kapag hindi maganda yung performance mo, wala ka reward. Okay? May punishment ka. Okay? The strength is, yung transactional leaders, they can reduce errors kasi nga, reward and punishment system. Matatakot yung mga subordinates to commit a mistake. Okay? Ang weakness naman niya is, yung transactional leaders, they pay more attention to mistake. Kumbaga, they do not empower their subordinates. And somehow, they do not put an emphasis on creating a safe environment for their organization. So that's the cons of being a transactional leader. Servant leadership naman, servant leaders are usually, they are involved in employee development. Usually, itong mga nurses na to, yung mga tipong diverse yung team nila. Kumbaga, they are patient and empathetic and they work well as nurse educators. Kumbaga, ang gagawin na lang ng isang subordinate nila na bago, they will teach pa. Kumbaga, di ba tutulong pa sila. Yun nga lang, ang weakness nito is, there are chances na being a servant leader is very exhausting. Kasi yung servant leaders, they also oversee yung hindi lang kanila, but also yung others. Kasi they provide service not just to their patients, but also to themselves and to their subordinates. That's servant leadership. Situational leadership naman, ito yung na-mention natin kanina, it's based on the situation kung paano magre-react yung isang leader. Okay? Kumbaga, it aims flexibility eh. So, dito lang, ang strength niya kasi, it works well with nursing students in clinical settings kasi it depends dun sa situation na ibabato sa'yo kung paano mo i-lead yung mga tao. Okay, ibibigay niyo po ba yung PowerPoint? Yes, I can give the PowerPoint, but allow me to give it by Saturday pa kasi meron pa akong class until Friday na same. Okay, so sa Friday ko siya ibibigay. And later on, I will send pala an attendance link ha. So mag-attendance kayo doon, pakihintay, and nakalagay din doon po ano yung email. So make sure na yung email na pagsisendan ko is valid. Okay? And also the recording. Okay? Sige. So, sa weakness naman, is yung situational leaders kasi often divert from an organization's long-term strategy or goal. Post-test po kami sa 26. Post-test? Okay lang, sige. Ano lang naman eh, i-email ko lang naman yung ano. And I think post-test nyo and then 28, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure kung kayo rin yun. May rationalization kasi ako sa 28 eh. I'm not sure kung kayo yung section na yun. Parang exam ko yata yung iti-test nyo eh. So anyway, ano na lang natin. But don't worry, ibibigay ko to. Okay? So, sa weakness na to, nung situational leaders natin, dahil nga they react on a certain or based on the situation, ang nangyayari, nagda-divert sila sa kung ano yung policy na meron yung organization. Kasi nga, kailangan nilang mag-troubleshoot. Okay? That is situational leadership. Now, charismatic leadership, ito from the word itself, yung charisma ang ginagamit. So, it's more of the professional guidelines or management built on the foundation of communication skills. Kumbaga, ay, susundin ko yan kasi naniniwala ako sa kanya. Meron ng ganon, meron ng personal inflection doon sa leader nito. Kumbaga, hinahangaan kasi siya. Kaya siya sinusunod. Nire-respeto siya. Nandun siya. That's being a charismatic leader. Yun nga lang, ang cons nito is, kapag nawala yung respeto mo doon, pag merong ginawang mali yung isang charismatic leader, nababawasan yung respect na ang tendency, hindi siya masusunod. Okay? That is the cause of charismatic leadership. Now, I also have here managers. So how do we define managers? So managers, the term management comes from the old French term management. O diba? Ang ganang pronunciation, management. So, which means directing, and at the same time, which means to lead by the hand. And usually, the act of managing or handling supervision or control is another description of management. So typically, managers are those assigned in a formal organization, and they are expected to carry out specific functions, and also meron silang knowledge about budgeting, about organizational goals, yung accountability pagdating dun sa subordinates, lahat yun, they have that knowledge ng mga managers. So part of the functions of the management or managers is itong mga to: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. So sa planning, nandito yung pag-set ng goals, objectives, philosophies, vision, mission. So organizing, pag-carry out ng plans, no? Ino-organize, ano ba yung mga strategic plannings, no? So ino-organize yung mga activities. Staffing naman yung pag-recruit, pag-ayos ng schedule. Directing yung hanggang saan yung staffing functions. Okay? Controlling, yung pag-control ng fiscals, pag-control ng budget. So yan, nandito yon sa controlling. Okay, so we have different functions as nurses. Tayo mga nurses, very flexible tayo eh. But part of our functions, of course, is to decide. And part yun yung decision-making natin. So as nurses, we have to use a step-by-step decision-making process. Okay? Hindi naman pwede na pag nag-decide ka, o sige, ito na lang gawin natin. You have to think it over. Okay? And we have to assess the situation itself. And also, meron tayong critical thinking. So, tayo mga nurses, we are expected to elicit critical thinking pagdating sa pagde-decide. Okay? It is based on our judgment. It is based on our knowledge. It is based on our beliefs and attitude. So, we also have here competence. So, tayo mga nurses, it is expected to have the competence or the knowledge, skills, and attitude in performing a certain task. And yung competency natin as nurses is divided into 3 tiers. The behavior, the trait, and holism. So, dito sa behavior na to, nandyan yung individual core skill. Kumbaga, yung return demonstration, yung trait, yung knowledge and critical thinking skills. Yung holism, andyan na, combined yung knowledge, skills, and attitude. Kasi it's the totality. You see, yung wholeness ng isang situation and including yung patient. So, sa problem solving, we have 3 methods or 3 processes. So, you have the type of traditional wherein you identify the problem, you gather the data, you explore alternative solutions, evaluate, and then you select the solution, and then you evaluate the result. Kapag managerial naman, nandoon kung mapapansin nyo, nandoon yung pag-set ng objectives and researching. Okay, there is a comparison kasi nagko-compare and contrast yan. And then you make a decision and then action plan and evaluation. And sa nursing, syempre, we have the ANPI, your nursing process. So, what are the, how do you understand an organization? So, always remember that without basic understanding ng organization, we cannot go on or we cannot push through with the healthcare system. That is why one of the attractive features of our profession is yung variety ng settings natin, yung flexibility natin. So, tandaan natin, ito, ano to lumalabas sa board exam, yung classification of healthcare agencies. Yung mga hospitals, they are classified depende dun sa length of stay. Usually, meron kasing mga healthcare agencies or hospitals na short stay lang. Mga clinics. Ayan, pa pwede rin na long term, yung mga hospice care, yung mga home for the aged, yan. Mga ano yun, mga length of stay ng hospital. Classification by type of services, general versus specialty hospitals, mga community hospitals versus tertiary, and ambulatory care, mga outpatient. Classification by type of ownership, dalawa lang naman yan eh, public tsaka private, or yung public government, pag profit yun yung private. So, pag private, not for profit, ito yung mga private institution siya, private hospital siya. Pero usually, hindi siya yung for profit na para magbayad ng malaki yung patient. Kasi usually ito ginawa to mga hospital, private hospitals na to, for charity. Like yung mga tinayong hospital out of their, let's say, samahan sa simbahan. Merong mga ganon. So, that's a private non-for-profit. Public naman, it's from the government. Kumbaga, yung foundation niya is from the government. Private for-profit, ayan. Karamihan ng mga hospitals ngayon are private hospital. And kapag private hospital, these are healthcare organizations for profit or business. And tandaan natin that when we classify a healthcare agency, all compete for patient care. Okay? And ang pinaka-consumers ng mga healthcare agency ay yung mga patients natin. At kapag ikaw nagtatrabaho ka sa private hospital, ang mahirap doon is yung cost. Okay? Kasi kapag yan, walang pambayad, medyo lugi tayo doon. Ano? So, yun yung isang cons pagdating sa private institution or sa private hospital. So, pagdating naman dito sa ating hospital, when you talk about the hospital, marami tayong mga healthcare institution wherein meron tayong kanya-kanyang mga function. No? So, dito sa hospital, wait lang ha. Let me just pause for a while. Okay. So, yung hospital, it's a healthcare institution wherein nagbibigay tayo ng kanya-kanyang functions. You have the preventive function, the curative function, and training and research function. And it depends dun sa level hospital na meron tayo. So, meron kasi tayo level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wherein yung level 1, ito yung dati ha. Before kasi, iba-iba yung classification hospital. Before, level 1 are yung infirmaries natin. Level 3, referral hospital, pero non-teaching siya. And yung level 4, referral level 1, secondary, mga primary hospital natin. Yan, secondary care hospital, yung mga tertiary non-teaching hospital, tertiary care hospitals na siya. Eventually, kapag specialty hospital na talagang mga teaching hospital, mga residency, mga ano yan, level 4 hospitals yan. Okay? So, sa organizational culture naman, tandaan mo organizational characteristic. And usually, dito sa organizational culture, meron niyang the thing is, organizational culture, it shapes the people's behavior. Kung paano magre-respond yung isang empleyado, it's because the organizational culture. So what are the keys of organizational culture? You have the artifact level, espoused belief, and underlying assumption. As part of it, characteristics. Mga pag nakita ng hospital, okay, itsura ng kwarto nila, ganito yung layout, ganyan yung matatandaan niyo. Yung sa espoused belief naman, yun yung pinaka-philosophy ng organization. Yun yung meron every patient. Lahat ng healthcare ito, lalaban. Survival, saan?
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Ayan, medyo disconnect tayo, ano? Sige, let us go back. Okay, sige. Start this one. Sige, this part, ito, yung sinasabi nga natin, ito lang naman yung pinaglalabanan. Kumbaga, ayan. So, ito lang naman yung pinaka-goals ng isang organization. You start with the survival, wherein pag tinayo yung organization, dapat mag-survive siya, and then dapat mag-growth siya. And part of that growth is yung profit, yung income, lalo na pag private hospital yan. And pag naka-establish siya ng profit, maka-establish na rin ng status, wherein makikilala na siya, and eventually, it will dominate the market. Okay? So, ayan. So, it's how they maintain their existence, they expand their new territories, and return yung profit nila, and then yung status, and yung they drive out the other competitions. So now let's go to planning. So ano ba yung planning? So sa planning naman, it involves setting of your goals. Kumbaga, you provide the standards against which actual performance is measured, and at the same time, tandaan nyo that when you plan, it should be smart. Okay? So when you talk about being smart, it should be specific, measurable, attainable, or achievable, realistic, and it should have a time frame. Okay? So, organizational planning is critically important in the management function. And at the same time, kapag kasi walang plano, the tendency is mag-fail yung management. Okay? Hindi ma-achieve yung vision and mission without planning. Okay? And tandaan natin that when we plan, there is an advanced thinking. So, ano ba yung advanced thinking na yan? You have to put an emphasis on what you want to do. Okay? And sino yung gagawa nun? And paano, kailan, at saan siya gagawin? Kasi ito lang naman yung elements natin for us to execute a plan. Yung advanced thinking itself. And at the same time, kung tayo ay nasa hospital, we organize, we plan, we know the structure, we have to analyze the market. So, paano ba tayo mag-analyze ng market? Well, tignan natin sino ba yung kasama dun sa competition, sino ba yung consumers natin. And you have to evaluate kung yung mga services na meron ka, meron din sa iba. Okay? So, at the same time, you have to know the population. Diyan papasok yung lower class, yung middle class, and upper class. Sige, let's have a quick icebreaker. Simple lang to. You just have to type in our chat box. So, ano ba ita-type sa chat box? Type nyo lang kung sa tingin nyo yung mga babanggitin na tao sa mga susunod na slide is lower class, letter L, letter M for middle class, and letter U for upper class. Okay, let's start with this one. So we have here Mario, a construction worker who works in a new project in Mindanao under San Miguel Corporation. And he has 2 kids, both in elementary, along with his wife who is unemployed and stays at home with their children. Mario earns 341 pesos per day. Yan. So is it L, M, or U? Low, middle, or upper? L, M, U lang. Okay, so I see answers. Ayan. So he answered low class. Okay. Low income. Okay, low class. Okay, letter L. Yes, that you're correct. So, nandun siya sa low class ng population, si Mario. Ano? Kasi, makikita niyo dito, minimum wage earner. Okay? And at the same time, unemployed yung asawa niya. And he is a construction worker. So, later on, we will identify. How about this one? We have here Lena, an elementary school teacher working in Laguna Public School, single, living with parents, and her younger brother who is currently in college. She earns 25,000 pesos monthly. Ayan, letter M. Okay, so middle class. Okay, well, you're correct, middle class. Bakit? Kasi professional siya. Kasi she is a teacher. And at the same time, meron siyang monthly wage na 25,000. Okay, sige. How about this one? Mandy, who aspires to be a vlogger, recently started her YouTube page, which has now 400 followers. Her content mostly focus on food, fashion, and travel. Her recent post is about the K-pop concert she attended. Okay, sige. Yan natin. Walang nakalagay kung magkano ina-earn niya. Okay, sige. Some of you answered letter L, well, halo-halo na, ano? Meron pang upper class. Ayan, sige. Okay, so actually, the correct answer here is Mandy belongs to the middle class. Bakit siya middle class? Although hindi ako naglagay dito kung magkano rate niya, no? Pero kasi, it doesn't mean na kapag ka vlogger, upper class ka na. Okay? At ikaw ay nakapag-travel. It has certain limitations and at the same time, meron tayong mga elements dyan na kinoconsider. Okay, sige. How about this one? Dorothy, a registered nurse for 2 years, currently working in a private tertiary hospital in Manila. And she was actually from Batanes, but decided to pursue her career in the metro and earns 18,000 monthly. Ayan, 18,000 monthly. Okay, M, okay, I can see answers of letter M. Yes, you're correct. Middle class. Bakit? Meron siyang 18,000 na wage monthly. And she is a professional, a registered nurse. Okay, how about this one? Last one. Naku po, ito po ay no questions asked. Si Jaime Augusto Sobel de Ayala, chairman of Ayala Corporation. Ayan. Obviously, si Jaza yan eh. Si Jaza po ay upper class. Okay, letter U. Okay, sige. Now, how do we know, ano? So, why am I discussing this? Kasi you have to know kung sino ba yung mga i-cater nyo na patients. By definition kasi, ang lower class, sila yung working class. Okay? Ang middle class, somewhere between the upper and working classes. Pero usually, it depends on what they earn. Okay? Usually kasi yung mga middle class, they have comfortable lives, pero not enough na to live in luxury. Okay? Commonly, they have college attainment and pwedeng merong postgraduate. And usually, mga middle class, may mga office jobs, mga professional, nandyan yan sa middle class. Lower class kasi mga minimum wage earners yan. Upper class naman, ito yung mga elite class natin. Usually, yung pera nila, it's either inherited money or yung talagang galing sa business venture nila na talaga namang lumago. Ano? And usually, they have common higher level of education and mga management jobs yung mga yan. But all in all, always remember that whatever the class is, our consumers are our patients. Kahit naman anong mangyari, pag yan nagkasakit, pasyente pa rin yan. It's just that kung saan silang ospital pupunta. Okay? Now, in an organization, you have to set the structure and always remember to use optimum resources. And in organization management kasi, nandun yung meticulous planning and leading and controlling. And at the same time, nandoon yung ating patient care delivery system. Sa patient care delivery system kasi, meron tayo mga models and framework. So, ano-ano ba yun? Usually, we have yung primary nursing, functional nursing, which will be discussed later on. And also the patient classification system. Kasi yung patient classification system, doon nakarely yung type of nursing modality na ibibigay natin. And ito yun, yung mga patient classification system natin. Self-care or minimal care, moderate, maximum, and intensive care. Self-care or minimal care, usually sila yung mga pauwi na, mga nagre-recover na, mga outpatient, yan, mga minimal care yan. Moderate care, usually, may sakit siya, pero malapit na rin doon sa recovery phase, pero kailangan pa rin ng assistance. Maximum care, kailangan ng close supervision and attention. And intensive care, ito yung mga nasa ICU. Yung talagang totally kailangan intensive or critical care yung gagawin natin. And based on that, we have the treatment modalities of care. Case method, it is also known as the total patient care approach, wherein it corresponds to a situation where a single nurse assumes full responsibility. Kumbaga, dun sa isang case na yon, si nurse ang may hawak. Okay? So, total patient care, alam niya, dun sa buong shift na yon, siya yung may hawak ng mga pasyente. No? So, primary nurse, hospital, ay hindi kakayanin ng primary nursing. Team nursing, there is a team of nurses involved in the shift, or kumbaga, it depends on the qualification kasi. And more on collaborative kasi to. Modular nursing naman, it depends on meron ba yung team leader, and at the same time, sino-sino. Dito sa modular nursing kasi, applicable to kapag madami yung manpower. And it depends kung sino-sino yung mga caregiver assigned dun sa isang specific na shift or isang pasyente. Yung functional, it depends on the function. Kung pwedeng halimbawa, distributed yung task. Itong si nurse A, siya yung medication. Si nurse B, siya yung charting. Nurse C, siya yung, let's say, vital signs. So, it depends on the function or procedure. Innovative naman, usually, it depends on the situation. Usually, ito bago lang naman to. Innovation in nursing ranges from impromptu solution. It depends kung ano bang gagawin natin ngayon dun sa, at itong contemporary na to, it involves din yung technology na meron tayo. Okay? And nursing case management, usually ito yung ina-assign sa mga case manager. Siya yung nagbibigay, let's say, nag-a-assign ng mga beds sa mga patients. Siya yung nagsasabi, ito, bed A, isama natin kay bed B. And alam dapat ni case manager kung sino-sino yung mga pasyente. Hindi man siya yung nag-handle ng patient, but it's more on the patient flow mismo. And yung mismong kailan siya madi-discharge, meron bang ma-admit na bago, that's nursing case management. So, entrepreneurship. So, sa entrepreneurship naman, it's more on the developing and organizing a new business. So, why am I discussing this? Kasi, tayong mga nurses can also be entrepreneurs. Meron nga mga nurse entrepreneurs eh. Kasi we have the unique mind and critical thinking tayo. So, tandaan nyo, sa nursing entrepreneurship, it's more of innovation and creation of nursing driven professions. Kumbaga, it doesn't stop from being a nurse in the bedside. Kasi pwede tayong mag-venture into another scope or setting. So, in fact, marami ng mga nurse entrepreneurs. So, these are just some that I took while browsing the internet, no? And you have your Clara Barton, no? And we know her as the first nurse entrepreneur kasi siya yung nag-found ng American Red Cross. And as you know, hindi lang America merong Red Cross, pati Philippines meron na. And it started from her initiative. Okay? Si Paul Zuzon naman, he's a founder of Bridie Care Staffing Agency in the UK. So, ang nangyari kasi sa kanya, he wanted to be really a nurse in the UK. Yun nga lang, niloko siya ng employer niya. So, ang nangyari, yung naipon niya na pera doon sa UK, he start up an agency ng mga pupunta na nurses sa UK. And it's very successful ngayong panahon na to. Si Jamie Balmores naman, he became the Nurse Entrepreneur of the Year 2021 kasi sa Canada, siya yung nagtayo ng jeepney JT kung saan from being a nurse, he became a food truck investor. So, ayan. So, marami tayong mga pwedeng gawing business as nurse entrepreneur kasi we can make an impact. Pwedeng through private practice, pwedeng freelancer, di ba? Yung mga private duty nursing, through agencies. So, na-mention nga kanina, meron mga nurses who venture into building their own agencies. Intravenous infusions, ayan yung mga gluta, di ba? Meron mga ganyang business. Health and wellness centers, yung mga, let's say, mga spa, di ba? Yung mga wellness center na pwedeng natin i-manage. Being a nurse consultant and a nurse counselor and even an educator. Diba? So, marami tayong mga opportunities as nurses. So, always remember, we need to understand, syempre, yung impact ng healthcare cost and budget forecast. And at the same time, dapat nandun yun yung leadership skills natin. And in order for us to understand that, we should know yung scope natin as nurse leaders and nurse managers. Okay, now, let's go to the last part. Konti na lang to, nursing research. So, sa nursing research, when we talk about research, this is the systematic investigation into and the study of materials regarding new conclusion. Kumbaga sa research kasi we discover and we innovate new things eh. So, sa nursing research, it's very useful in terms of health promotion kasi it responds effectively on actual or potential health problems. So, what are the sources of knowledge? Tandaan niyo lang yung mnemonic natin na CASEL. So, sa customs and tradition, pwedeng sabihin ng mga naunang mga researcher and yung mga mas nakakatanda sa atin, ganito kasi ang usual na ginagawa namin dyan. Assembled information, meron na tayong data na available. Scientific research, this is the most objective kasi meron tayong basis. Trial and error, itatry natin kung mag-work, gagamitin natin. Okay? Logical reasoning, there's inductive and deductive reasonings, and experts or authorities, yung mga merong specialty. So what are the features of research? It should be reliable, it should be in order, and it should be controlled kasi minimize natin yung bias. And at the same time, i-maximize natin yung precision ng data na nakukuha natin. Empiricism, objective methods of seeking information, and it should be systematic. And meron tayong purposes of research. And actually, according to RA 9173 of Section 28, dapat daw tayong mga nurses should undertake yung research pa rin in order to advance our practice. So these are the purposes of our research. Okay? So what are the roles of nurses in research? So as you can see here, nandito kayo, BSN degree, you critique and synthesize nursing or research findings from nursing profession. And usually, you're the starter. Okay? Kasi meron kayong kinoconduct na research and from that, pwede siyang magamit in the future studies. Come master's degree, ito naman more on the consultation na siya and you are leading na the healthcare team. Doctoral degree, ito mas mabigat na kasi Sila na talaga yung merong generation of nursing knowledge na i-compare from the before, meron na rin silang scientific basis. Sa postdoctoral degree, ito talagang assuming na yung role na talagang researcher role at meron na siyang funded research programs. So, research characteristics natin, dapat nandiyan yung curiosity, creative and critical thinking, and syempre, i-relate natin yung research natin sa theory natin. Okay? The patience and discipline to push the study, intellectual honesty, and sense of humor. Somehow, yung research and nursing process are related to each other. Kasi it is both systematic and at the same time, we have the plans to solve specific problems. So if we will compare, yung nursing process is ADPI, while sa nursing research, ganun din siya. Kasi it starts with the problem identification. Then after that, you have to diagnose kung sa nursing process. Dito naman, we will formulate our hypothesis sa methodological development. Then after that, you have your data management kasi you will organize your data and analyze your data. Sa dissemination of findings, dito ka na mag-review ng findings and your critic. You will review the literature. You will provide a conclusion. Okay? So, evidence-based practice, ito yung pinakabunga ng research natin. Kasi it is our ultimate goal to provide an evidence-based practice para magkaroon tayo ng advancement in the healthcare system. Okay? So, we also have qualitative and quantitative research. Tandaan nyo, pag quantitative numbers yan, okay? Numerical data. Okay? So, ano-ano ba yung mga quantitative? Experiments, mga questionnaires, surveys, database report. Yan yung mga quantitative. Pag qualitative, more on subjective. Okay, bakit subjective? Kasi may interview, may mga documents, mga focus group discussions, mga observation. That is your qualitative. Kaya nga quality. Pag quantity, numbers. Quality, words. Okay? So always remember, you have different methods, you have different methods on how to distinguish quantitative from qualitative research. Kasi kapag qualitative, it's more of the subjective and testimonies on how you describe a certain phenomena or your study. Pag quantitative kasi, nagsisurvey ka na, meron ka na mga charts, may mga numbers ka na. Okay? Kasi sa qualitative, you're answering why. Sa quantitative, you are answering what and how. Kasi through number siya and through quantity. So nursing research uncovers knowledge to build a foundation of clinical practice and reinforce the following. Prevent disease, manage symptoms, and enhance end-of-life care. That is why research is very important. Okay? So, in all, we have discussed, we have reviewed professional nursing adjustment, leadership and management, and nursing research. Now, let us go to the final round. So, ito lang naman ang gagawin nyo, no? So, all you have to do is, same lang, menti.com, www.menti.com, or you may scan the QR code. Ang code natin is 813-48427. Okay. So, yung mga question, magpa-flash siya dito sa PowerPoint. Okay? Now, yung pinaka-answers, yun yung ilalagay nyo or i-click nyo doon sa Menti natin. Okay, sige. Let me just fix my screen. Okay. For a while lang, let me just fix my screen. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so makikita nyo, dalawa yung nakagpas sa atin. Ano? So yung isa, yung PowerPoint, yung isa yung Mentimeter. So dito sa Mentimeter, dito yung ilalagay yung answer mo kasi yung question magpa-flash doon sa PowerPoint natin. Kasi kasha yung tanong doon sa Mentimeter. Kasi ano siya, limited yung number of letters na pwede i-type doon sa ano natin, sa Mentimeter natin. Anyway, sige, I hope everyone is ready para makapag-start. So, I have 50 players on board out of 96 or 95. Ayan. Sige. Yeah, I think we can start. First question muna tayo. Okay, so there, the first question dyan. On the PowerPoint. So, we have 30 seconds to answer. Okay, so I see answers. Kapag encode na. Okay, the correct answer is letter D. Okay. Okay, so we have here the question. Dr. Perez ordered a medication to receive an IF on the left deltoid of patient Tamara. Nurse Percy knows that the patient is post-MRM left. Which of the following should we do? Letter A, give the medication on the right deltoid is wrong. Bakit? Kasi, ang sabi sa order is left. Okay? Letter B, give the medication the right document. Again, it's wrong. Do not question. Huwag nating babaliin yung first order. Okay? Next, letter C, follow the order since it is not contraindicated. Actually, it is contraindicated. So, dapat hindi. So, the best thing to do is to inform the doctor that the patient is post-MRM on the left and clarify the order. Okay, sige. Now, let's check the number 1. Kung sino ang pinakamabilis. Okay, so ang pinakamabilis ay C. Ayan, si Apple. Okay, sige. Tignan natin yung susunod. Question number 2. Okay, last 13 seconds. Okay, everyone has voted. The answer is letter D. Call the nursing assistant. Okay, bakit letter A? The nurse observes the nursing assistant speaking harshly. Okay, so letter A, well, you can do this, pero not in front of the client. But the first thing is, you have to discuss the observation to the nursing assistant. Kayo muna, mag-discuss muna kayo by yourselves, no? So, wag basta-basta. It can trigger an argument from the first option. Sige, tingnan natin yung nakasagot ng tama. At pinakamabilis. Yung si Apple pa rin ba yan? And the one who got the correct answer in the fastest is Stormborn. Sino ba si Stormborn? Ayan, si Stormborn. Okay, sige. Let's try the next one. Question number 3. Ganyan yung mga board exam questions. You will enjoy. Okay, everyone has voted. The correct answer is letter B. Okay, let's check. So, nursing is working with the parents of a seriously ill newborn. Surgery has been proposed for the infant, but the chances of success said is unclear. So in helping the parents resolve, we have to collect all available information. So hindi naman pwedeng letter A kasi saan ba yung identify natin? So letter C, clarifying values related to the cause of the dilemma. Actually, before you clarify that, you have to collect first. Diba kung sa research mo, i-collect the data first. Okay, sige. Next, tingnan natin kung sino ang nasa leaderboard natin. Okay, the top scorer I see. Ayan, si Jay. Okay, ayan. Sige. Next, tingnan natin. Next, question number 4. This one, you have to assign a client, or assign a nurse. A client is 48 hours post-bone marrow transplant. Ano ang i-assign natin yan? Okay, the answer is letter E. Yeah, letter A, emergency room for 4 years. Okay, always remember this. Bukod sa pag-consider ng also experience kung sino-sino yung mga patients na na-handle na, like this one. Bakit si AIDS? Kasi post-bone marrow transplant are also immunosuppressed or immunocompromised. Sino ba dito yung pinaka-immunocompromised? Si patient who have AIDS. Okay, sige, tingnan natin ang nakakuha ng pinakamabilis at tamang sagot. Okay, si Jay pa rin. Ayan, last question na tayo. Okay, last question. Last na yan. So the correct answer is letter B. Okay, ito yung na-discuss natin kanina, you obtain the consent from the client's spouse. So bakit may sumagot ng letter A, get the patient? Remember, the patient is ready for OR at siya ay nagbigay na ng demerol. At probi na yung pasyente yung malamang. Okay, so medyo hindi na siya nakapag-isip ng maayos. So you obtain the consent from the client's spouse. Tingnan natin ang ating winner. Our winner is ayan, si Apple. So, sino ba si Apple? Sino si Apple? Ako po. Ayan. Okay, sige. So, congratulations sa winners ng ating icebreaker challenge. So, I hope you have learned something sa ating discussion for today. So, last final quote na yan. So, let us never consider ourselves finished. We must be learning all of our lives. Ayan. So, thank you very much for attending. And wag mo nang aalis, isi-send ko yung link dito sa ating chat box for your attendance. Okay? Wait, let me just share the link. Wait lang. Okay, so I already sent our link in the chat box. Okay, paki-fill upan na lang po. So let me resend that again. Okay, so paki-copy na lang din po dun sa mga ano natin, no, and send to your classmates na kasama dito sa ating link kasi i-close ko na rin po yung Zoom natin, baka mawala na siya. So please log your attendance in our attendance log. Ayan, sa Google link natin. So na-send ko na siya. So please fill out your attendance forms, and that's it for today. So thank you very much for attending. So dun sa mga baka hindi makuha yung link, please copy the link and send to your classmates. Okay, so thank you very much. I hope to see you in person soon. And I'll be handling your nursing ethics and leadership and management sa susunod. Yes, Ms. Fernandez, do you have any questions? None? Ms. Fernandez? Yeah. Paano raw po ba yung iba na 5 to 8 po ang schedule? I think 2 to 5 ang nabigay sa akin na schedule today. Ayun, 2 to 5 ang nabigay sa akin na schedule ni Dr. Hesina today. But anyway, do you have any time? Let's say tomorrow. Do you have any time tomorrow for you to attend? Okay, so let me check that. Okay. Schedule of classes. Okay. Oh, section 1 and 2. Okay. Yung tomorrow, yung section 1 and 2, can you join the 2 to 5? Can you do it? Can you join the 2 to 5? Yes. May nakasked din. Section 2. Okay. Or tomorrow, can you join the 5 to 8? Is that okay? Yeah, kasya naman. Is that okay? Sino pwede kong kontakin for the section 1 and 2, 5 and 6 and 9 and 10? Yeah, okay lang daw. Sige, ganito na lang. Abigail, are you there? Si Abigail kasi kakilala ko eh. Ayan. Do you have the contact for the sections? Section 1 and 2? Okay, can you update ni Abigail? Kasi friends kami sa Facebook niya ni Abigail. Ayan, so, can you update me kung okay sila tomorrow ng 2 to 5 or 5 to 8? Makisit in sila. Okay, ayan. So, all is settled na, no? Kasi, actually, yung schedule hindi nabigay sa akin dito kasi But anyway, I understand, baka busy siya. But anyway, sige, we will still do our lecture tomorrow naman. Kung doon sa mga hindi maka-attend, let's set a schedule for that. Especially, meron kayong post-exam. Ayan, so, okay? So, I hope everything is settled and I hope you learned something. May natutunan ba? Ayan, may mga natutunan naman, very good. Okay, sige. So, thank you very much for attending and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget our attendance, ha? Mag-attendance kayo. And good luck, everyone. And see you, I think, exam ko nga yung i-exam niya sa 26. So, good luck. And ang rationalization is in person. I think that's on the 28th. Ayan, so makikita tayo niyan under rationalization. So, galingan ang pagsagot. Okay, sige. So, good luck everyone. I hope to see you soon. Ingat po ang lahat and bye everyone.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Record